Turn the cameras on. Welcome in to another Tuesday night. It's Daredevil. I think you know who the other character is.
Well,
One and only Wilson Fisk, ladies and gentlemen. That's Matthew Matson, always showing off something to start out the show. We are here again on another Tuesday night evening blend. If Punk could only get that right, one of these days he's going to figure it out. But here we are again to bring you some pop culture news, movie, TV reviews, little box office, weird and wild sometimes, and maybe our commentary on a couple things here and there. Always with me is the lovely, talented, magical, and mysterious Matthew Matson. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's been a day of meetings and then meetings after meetings and then meetings after meetings and then, dinner with the wife celebrating a special occasion and
And
then off
what
to
what
streaming.
is that special occasion, Matthew? If I may so ask.
Uh, yeah, tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of our first date.
That's
So
awesome.
we decided we were gonna go out on a date, but we didn't want to do it on Valentine's Day because that would be weird for a first date, and so so we did it 2 days before.
And also, Valentine's Day for those that do go out is just a really a nightmare. I mean, ultimately,
Yep.
right? I mean, reservations, trying to get in somewhere. They may have a package. They may charge you, and if you've been with someone for a long time, a lot of times your partner is also feel the same way.
Yep.
They're like, nah, that's not. We don't need all that. You
Yep.
know, early on, maybe creating some memories and stuff like that. But I'm with you, and congratulations. I mean, that is wonderful, and in a way, kind of unheard of in today's world. If you look around us and and talk to a lot of people in the spaces that you and I kind of frequent.
Yeah.
You'll see the comments here and there, and it's like, yeah, my first wife or my second wife, and
Well,
and by all means, I'm not saying anything bad about that. Maybe, hopefully, you do find the right person,
yeah.
but to be with somebody for 20 years, I mean, two decades, it's a long time, and obviously, it's working out, for you guys. So
My
continued for another 20.
One of the meetings I had was with my boss, and he was telling me that he would have to look back on his calendar and calculate it, but he believes that this December 3rd would be the 30th anniversary of his first date with his wife.
Oh wow. Okay. So, love is in the air, my friends. A little Valentine's Day. And that being said, I am going to bring up one of your photographs that you just sent me and that I just emailed myself because for some reason I said send it to me. Well, he sent it over a text message. Text messages are not the easiest. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. One of the first couples that a lot of us ever knew in our lives. Baroness and Destro, a lovely, lovely sitting. I love it. I mean, look, these two characters made up a decent period of my childhood, right? And
Yep.
all of us would say we probably, even though she was a quote unquote bad guy, whatever, all of us had a crush on the Baroness, right? We all wish we could maybe have the special relationship.
It's
And
that
in the
accent.
comics, yeah, in the comics, and even the cartoon, but even in the comics, she got the better of Destro sometimes,
Yep.
and also used his feelings against him when he wasn't owning up to his part of the deal. They're always
Yep.
scheming against each other. It's like the love hate relationship that you love to hate.
Yep. Yep.
uh, Anyway, so we got a lot of topics, man. Got some news. I always try to scour like the day of that we're going to do this stream because no matter what you try to save, no matter what articles and stories that come out in this world, there's always something new. Almost every time you go to stream, it may break an hour, it may break that day.
Yep.
And so there are a couple news stories that I did save that maybe not aren't in the description, but I went ahead and saved them, and pretty sure you do know about them. And if you don't, you always have commentary about it. You're pretty spot on, so it doesn't require you to sit there and study for an hour or look through all these articles. You're pretty much abreast of everything. So we might as well, before we get started, let's get into the chat, ladies and gentlemen, like we always do. And first in the door is Johnny freaking Reno
That's it.
in the house. Johnny, good to see you. Unfortunately, all the picture emojis or whatever. I don't know how it works on like an iPhone or an Android or how they show up. Um, I know there's certain ones that don't. And please describe to me if I'm misreading it, because if they are emojis or whatever, I'd love to know. Joe Fan 84 is in the house. Of course, Min Josa, what's up, buddy? Good to see you always. Tony's Figs is also here, hanging out. 3-star draw, sneaking in here, giving the knucks to everybody as he always does. And Tony's Figs, hey man, I resemble that remark. Okay, come on, let's not. Daredevil Dave's in the house. What's up, Daredevil Dave? Always good to see you. Everybody kind of saying hey to each other, and as we keep going, there's eyeballs on us. Some people lurking, some people join us as we go along. That's always how it goes. So we, try to get it started, man. But I do appreciate any and everybody that comes in here to watch us and hang out for a little while, bouncing in and out. I know there's probably other streams tonight as well. So, but any time you give us is always appreciated. That's for sure. And so yeah, as you can probably tell, my voice is a little toasty. It's just been a few of those weeks, not one of those weeks, Matthew. It's been a few of those
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
And I talked to a lot of people, man. I've heard from a lot of people that really since Christmas, New Year's, this is something that's been going around. And some
hmm
of my regulars at the bar that come in, and I heard them talking about it, but I didn't pay a lot of attention because when you're working and you're carrying on multiple conversations like I do, you hear that stuff, but you're feeling good, so you're not
yeah,
thinking about it. And then all of a sudden it hits you, and it's like, holy crap! And this
yep,
this thing, yeah, it's just lingering, lingering. So I'm hoping to
yeah.
get rid of it soon.
It's bouncing around everywhere. That's for sure.
But we got some news of the day usually, and we will. Usually we start out with current box office. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it because really there hasn't been much right now. This obviously we
Yeah,
we mention it every week. This is the slow period. There's a couple movies out that I'm not familiar with.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
and they're downgrading projections for Captain America, and
yes,
they're downgrading projections for Snow White. So a lot of these Disney movies that are coming out, they're already downgrading initial projections. So
and I
they're
do
trying to hedge their bets on how much they're going to lose.
I do have an article, man. I do have an article about the Captain America projections that
Yeah.
I saw come out
Now,
today.
just did you see the uh, first look footage of the Captain America movie that they released?
Is it multiple minutes? I caught this,
Yeah,
obviously the Super Bowl ad. I've
yeah.
watched multiple teasers. How many minutes did they maybe release? I know they do
I,
that
it
sometimes.
it wasn't much, but
Okay.
it was enough for people to say, "Well, what is this? This doesn't look like a complete movie. You're releasing this? It looks ridiculous."
Is that maybe because they had to do a ton of reshoots? Is that maybe because they had to go in and edit out after post election, whether
hmm
those may or may not want to hear those words? It is the truth. Like they,
Well, I mean, they completely had to rewrite a character.
right.
I mean, they shot three different movies by the time you get through all these reshoots.
It's, it,
So the production budget is not what they said it was. It's a whole lot more.
well, I think
But
that the thing is too, and we've talked about it as well, is that the CGI. This has been a problem with Disney. Not to go down a deep
yeah,
dive with this right off the top, but
right.
you know, the CGI part of it where they shoot scenes and then they decide to change those scenes, then you're putting pressure on the CGI guys. You only have so many camera angles. You can only change it so much. They're demanding a lot out of these people. But yet they're sometimes not wanting to spend the proper amount because they have, a budget even though it's
hmm
ballooning. And then all of a sudden the CGI house gets blamed when it comes out and it looks like garbage.
Yeah, well, and you got to also remember that in many of these cases, the larger action set pieces are prevised and rendered sometimes before the script is even started. much
Well,
less
most of the,
finished.
especially the fight scenes, right?
Yeah,
We've long known that no matter what director is hired,
yeah.
especially post, let's just say post in game, that no matter what
It was
director is
before
hired,
Endgame.
it was before, but it depends on the movie. I think it depends on the director, but I'm sure some of them definitely were. That the
Yeah,
fight scenes are already pre-viz, pre-done.
yeah.
They cannot be changed. They cannot be directed, redirected. It is what it is. The director's in charge of the in-between stuff,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, well, I mean, not even that, according to Patty Jenkins, but
Well, yeah, that's true. Although she's been brought back on board, I don't, we'll see. Yeah,
for
Free Star
Disney,
Jaw.
what is she doing for Disney?
Yeah, for the Star Wars. Patty Jenkins has been
Oh,
brought back. Yeah,
sure,
she.
sure, she has.
Well, I mean, listen, she's the one. She's the one saying it. She was also the one that said
Okay,
that she was let go. So
yeah.
it makes
Well,
not a lot of sense. I don't think she's Charmaine Obey Chinoy trying to just self insert herself into
I
a
mean,
movie franchise.
I don't doubt it, but I mean, they've canceled more Star Wars projects than they've made.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, sure, she has.
That's true. But evidently, from all indications, that Patty Jenkins is back. You remember she was
Okay.
supposed to make an X-wing or Rogue, fighter or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, if they're doing Rogue Squadron, she'd be the last one to be put in charge of that, I think.
I would
She,
think as well. Now, after Wonder Woman 1, she probably hot commodity.
well, yeah, but still, I mean, you got to think about the types of stories that she's good at telling, and
True.
an action set piece with a bunch of fighter craft in space may not be her aptitude.
Unless all that stuff is already pre-made,
Well,
and
and
then
then
it's up
she
to her to
wouldn't.
fill in the blanks.
Well, so she wouldn't do it because of what happened to her on Black Widow and why she walked off Black Widow,
Right.
because she wasn't allowed to direct anything. All of the action set pieces were done. All of the individual stuff was already prevised, and they said this is how we're doing it. So I mean, she basically didn't have to do anything but say action cut, faster, harder, or slower, more dramatic, or whatever. I mean, that's about all she was doing, and she didn't have any decision making ability under Disney's corporate lockdown on
Right.
everything.
I mean, in a way, some people might actually enjoy that. They might
Mhm.
enjoy those constraints, right? It
Kevin
takes a
Smith
lot
does
of
really well with
pressure.
that, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh wow, man, zinger! I've got to get the snare drum cymbal crash. That's my next sound effect. You know what I mean? Like I got to get that. I got to have it at the ready. Uh, but yeah, so nonetheless, yes, Captain America. Projections have kind of been moved around. Looking at what's coming out, it does not seem to be moving the needle for people. Obviously, Snow White is moving the needle for no one except for two on the dislike button
Yeah, I was
on
gonna say it's
YouTube.
going backwards.
Yeah, it's going backwards. And
Yeah.
as we quickly, and when I say quickly, I mean quickly scan the box office right now. Uh, Basically, Dogman, which obviously is the Captain Underpants and that whole thing. We talked about it last week. About $55 million. Heart Eyes, not familiar. I got to tell you, not familiar with Hard Eyes. Love Hurts, Companion.
So
One of them days is the uh, comedy movie that seems to be kind of holding
one of
strong
these
right
days,
now. Mhm.
do you know what Love Hurts is? Is that the short round movie?
You know what? Actually, it is, and I actually have a
Yeah.
story about K Hui
Mm,
Kwan, right? Or Kwan? Yeah,
I'm not
Kwan.
sure.
Hey, K. Okay. Anyway, you
Yeah.
guys will correct me in the chat. I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
And I want to say hey to Wraith Mace, by the way, who's
What's up?
sneaking in here. What's going on, buddy? Okay. Um,
Because
be,
I kind of want to see that one, but
I do too. I've heard it somewhat a little bit misses the mark from the things I've
uh,
read.
yeah,
But that's okay. Hey, that it's your judgment, and
yeah.
there's things you like and I like and other people like that maybe doesn't hit with everybody. In 369 theaters, evidently becoming Led Zeppelin is number 4 with 2.8 million dollars. It's only been out 4 days. This is kind of a documentary about Led Zeppelin. We've probably seen, if you're a fan of the band, you've probably seen 10 of those. in your
Yeah.
lifetime. I am a huge fan of Led Zeppelin. John Bonham is my favorite drummer of all time, always has been, as a drummer.
When the
And
levee breaks.
yeah, baby. And many, trust me, and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but my point
Bonzos.
is that I just don't know how. A becoming Led Zeppelin documentary. It's Sony Pictures. It's a small release, obviously,
Yeah.
but it jumped into the top 7, top 10. Flight Risk. If any of
I'm
you have paid
surprised that was
attention to
still
that,
there on the list.
it's almost 3 solid weeks in. It's only pulled in about 25 million.
Yeah.
Total. A Complete Unknown, Bob Dylan. And then Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is holding strong at
3.
number 10, dropping 3 spots. Or 3, my bad. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, dropping 3 spots down to number 10. So that kind of rounds out the top 10. The rest of the top 15, so to speak, or so, are all movies that have been out for probably 30 or more days for the most
Mhm.
part. Give or take a couple. Wolfman kind of down there a little bit, dropping off steadily. Nosferatu did not break 100 million, and I'm kind of disappointed in that. I was
Yeah.
really hoping that it would.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy that movie. I just don't know that a wide audience is going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
It
I
it
get
is
it,
what it is.
but yeah, I mean, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I saw Werewolves in Walmart the other day. I almost picked it up, but
Oh yeah.
they only had the DVD version in the Walmart. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll just, I want the Blu-ray. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to get a Blu-ray.
That's interesting. Why? I mean, at this point, I think most people, if you're going to have a physical collection, you're going to collect the Blu-ray, right? Like most people have an Xbox or a PlayStation or something that'll
Yep.
play Blu-ray discs, and just a regular DVD player. Not that I'm not saying those don't, just have one. But if you're going to pay the amount of money, why not spend the extra 5 or whatever it is
Right.
on the Blu-ray edition, right? Just for the higher def. Clint Jorgensen is in the house. Tommy Lee had hotter women than Bonzo, than John Bonham. I assume he probably did. I would say he did, between the two drummers. But I'd say one's way more revered than the other. And as you get older, I'd rather be way more revered than being known for dating Pamela Anderson. That's just me. Uh,
No
but
doubt.
nonetheless, so yeah, so that's box office, man. I'm gonna tell you, Matthew, as we get into the summertime, the box office conversation is gonna heat up, and it's
Yep.
gonna get a little more interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
Like I really believe that. I think it's gonna get a lot more interesting as we get closer and closer to the summertime. Um, okay, so many of you watched the Super Bowl. All
Yeah,
right.
hold on one second. Three
No,
star.
by all means.
I just saw that,
It
and
is. It's streaming now.
it is already streaming. Nosferatu is on VOD, but the Bob Dylan one is already free on Disney. And I'm like, oh man, well, I know what I'm going to watch this weekend.
Exactly. And you've been talking about it too, over the last few weeks. So there you go. I saw
Yeah,
that come up, as I've been catching up on the Netflix 2015 Daredevil series, which we'll get into here in a little while. As I've been catching up on that, I've seen a couple things that have slid in, so to speak,
yeah,
and that was one of them. Is the Bob Dylan biopic. Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions is sliding in here, hanging out for a little while, man. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate the support. Definitely. Joe Fan 84 says, I'd rather watch grass grow than football. I understand. And that game, after the first or second quarter, there's probably a lot of people who would have joined you drinking and watching grass grow. There's a few things about the Super Bowl that I'm going to bring up. And the first thing I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to show is get to I'm going to get to this video right here. And this is for no other reason than I still find it fascinating after all these years, ladies and gentlemen. After all these years, when this used to be a fun catchphrase for the winning MVP of the Super Bowl, is that we still get this.
Next, I'm going to Disney World. Jay,
Fascinating, isn't it? I'm
Yeah.
going to Disney World, and they're still doing that commercial. Does it still hold water, Matthew, like
No.
it did in 1990,
No.
92?
When it first happened, it seemed so off the cuff, and you're like, "Oh, that's awesome! You're so excited," and that's kind of what it was. And then the next year, they turned it into a Disney commercial, and then in perpetuity, they turned it into a Disney commercial. And so they get one of them, they pay one of them whatever free trip. I don't
Yes.
know what they pay them, but they give them enough money to say, "I'm going to Disney World," and
It,
trying to get everybody excited about going to Disney World. And you know what? I think people were about as excited to watch this game as they are to go to Disney World.
Man, you hit it, and also at this point, I think it's become passe.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
in 1992, 94, after you had all of the animated hits,
yeah.
reinvigoration of Disney, right? That
Hmm.
this was a special commercial. It was kind of fun.
Yeah,
At this point, all these years later, I couldn't believe it. I found it today, and I was like, they still do this? Like they
yeah. I mean,
still
I
do
was
this?
I was surprised that he didn't say I'm going to Universal Orlando
Oh
because
my
I
God.
mean, though I don't think Universal doesn't need the publicity because they are going to be killing Disney World here
100%.
in the next few months when they open up that Epic Universe stuff. It's going to be epic, and people are
I
going
think
to love it.
in the next decade,
Yeah,
I think we're going to see, we're already starting to see it, but I think we're going to see a big shift, especially after the last few years.
yeah,
But yeah, Universal continues to add, continues to excite, and
yeah, and
Disney has done the opposite.
well, they finally decided that they were going to bring back Luke Skywalker to the
Oh my
park,
God. Oh my God.
but they still won't play John Williams music
Yeah.
in the park.
Okay, so folks, this was not prompted. I did not bring it up, but I'm going to share something with you after I read the 3-star draw comment. Y'all better warn me before Daredevil talk. I haven't finished it yet. We will not be getting into spoilers because I know there's a lot of you who maybe did not have Netflix, maybe missed that series when it was out. I don't want to spoil it for you leading up to Daredevil Born Again
Now,
coming out in March.
again,
So we're not going to be, yeah, again. We're not going to be talking spoilers, but we are going to be talking about quality of content,
yeah,
writing, scripting, and action. Okay. But Matthew,
I
this
I
was
got
planned. Okay. Sorry.
I gotta know 3-star. How far along are you in the show? You haven't finished it yet. Where are you?
He's I think he's season two, getting pretty close to season three, if not
Okay,
yet.
there we go.
Loves
Yeah.
Mules is in the house. What's up, sis? How you doing? Everybody say hey to my sister. When I say sister, I mean literally blood sister. She is my older sister. Loves Mules. Ronnie Trickshot in the house. What's up,
What's
buddy?
up,
And
Ron?
he is not going to Disney World. That's because they don't want to have one in the land down under. If they did, you would have been to it already. I could almost guarantee it.
His closest one is Tokyo.
Oh yeah, baby. Good luck getting there too, I guess. Yeah, man. 3-star draw. I'm up to season three, episode 5. So you're good. You're good in there.
Yeah, so yeah, season 3 wasn't as good as the first two in my opinion, but
Right.
still quality.
So I got through season 1 and I started season 2, maybe 2 episodes. It's been a while to the point where like I really don't remember. So I'm taking it bit by bit as we lead up, and we're gonna do a deep dive on Born Again when it comes out, and it is going to be released weekly. So, and I'll be honest with you, the reason why I want to do it is because after rewatching season 1 of the Netflix series and how good it is, I want to get into it. And so
It's
we're going
so
to do
good.
that as we get into March and as we
It
go through the month of March and April. We're going to get into it for sure, but
Yep.
we don't need to get too
Yep.
deep into it because we're going
Yeah,
to talk
yeah.
about it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But this was unplanned. I did not tell Matthew that I saved this article. Disney is bringing Skywalker to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge theme park land in Disneyland only as part of a limited time event. Why in the world would you do it as a limited time event? I do
So
not know.
here's what they do, right? So they did this before, right? So they did this with the Mandalorian and his partner in crime, the Ming Na Wen, her character. And so they had them walking around the park, and they said they were going to pull them out because they only wanted the sequel trilogy characters in there. And then they were so popular, they brought them into Disney World, right? And
Right.
so this is another thing. They're going to gauge the popularity of it and see what they do with it. Also, they have to find the right actor for the part,
That's
right? So,
true.
I mean, they have to find somebody that they can hire for this role who can do it and do it well, and be, recognizable, right?
Yes.
And so that becomes its own challenge. I mean, they can't just hire Sebastian Stan to come in there and play him all day. So,
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just funny that you brought that up because I had saved this to talk about as we went over the news of the day here in a moment, and that was one of the stories I saved. But since you kind of already let the cat out of the bag, I mean, look, it's not nothing too crazy. I've got a couple other stories that are kind of crazy
yeah.
relating to the Super Bowl in particular, but yeah, look, this is what they should have started out with, correct? They should have started out with the original trilogy characters.
I mean,
Um,
seriously, you know how excited people would be to watch Darth Vader followed by two stormtroopers walking around the freaking park all day, right? I mean, you can't beat that. No, nobody cares about Kylo Ren and the New Age troopers, right? So,
yes.
everybody wants to see Darth Vader and the stormtroopers walking around.
Yeah, this, I mean, it really is. It's just, it's kind of too little too late.
Yep.
And look, they're not going to close down Galaxy's Edge. They'll figure out what they need to do. Unlike the cruise liner, right? They'll figure out what they need to do to continue this on. I can't imagine them just shutting the whole thing
Well,
down
no,
because
they
it
they
didn't
they
work.
they, they can't shut it down, and also it's part of a larger park as it is. So they would just
Yes.
repurpose it into something else when they wanted to. The hotel thing, they can't repurpose it into anything, so that's why they turned it into office buildings.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. They did. They turned it into office
And that
buildings.
was not a decision that they came to lightly either. They lost so much money. Nobody was coming. Nobody was paying $6,000 for 3 night a forced event where you have no choice or say in where you eat dinner and when you go down to the lobby and when you use the amenities. Everything is pre-planned, from your evening cocktail hour to your dinner to everything. The story events that you participate in, there's no choice or freedom in anything. And so you're paying $6,000 to be held prisoner inside this so-called space age hotel that has nothing Star Wars in it.
Didn't
Nothing
it
Star Wars in it.
didn't it look like the people that were part of the media who got to go for free had way more fun than the people who paid money to
Oh yeah.
actually go to it?
Yeah, yeah. By far, except for what's his name, the guy who played Adam Goldberg on the Goldberg Show, that
Oh, the
child
original
actor,
commercial, the
with
original ad
yeah,
for it, right?
with the kid with the glasses and all that. I mean, he was
That's
struggling.
embarrassing.
It
It was
was. It was
embarrassing.
absolutely embarrassing.
You know what? I tell you what. I gotta put a pin in that to pull that up one day because it's embarrassing to
Yes.
watch that ad for it because it is one of the fakest, most ridiculous
Yeah.
things, especially when they go to the singing part.
Oh yeah.
Where, oh God.
Yeah.
But listen,
So
for those of you
you
that
know what it
don't know,
reminded
I
me of
get it.
when I saw this, and it says it was like a television commercial or YouTube ad or whatever. It reminded me of one of those pre-roll videos that you see before you get on a ride at Disney World. It didn't actually seem like a commercial. It seemed like one of those story pre-rolls before the ride.
Yes. Yes, no, it's embarrassing, and I'll be honest with you, if I could, and I'll need some time because I can't do it. I was trying to pull it up quickly
Yeah.
so I could show you guys, and we could literally watch it and make fun of it. But
I'm surprised it hasn't been scrubbed.
yeah, it actually may have, it actually may have the original
Yeah.
whatever. But
the only place you can probably watch it is on a rerun of Friday Night Tights.
And I was gonna say, I think you're right. I think it was. Oh God, no, it's here.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
it's here. Okay, folks, do you guys want to have some fun?
Let's do it.
Do you want to have a little fun?
Let's do
All
it.
right, indulge us. War Chest is here. Indulge us. This is the Disney now deleted Galactic Star Cruiser promo video. I have not pre-watched this. I apologize if anything weird comes up. But we're gonna watch this together, and we're gonna enjoy this together. And y'all, give me your thoughts. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Admiral.
Hello there.
I'm super excited to see what you and your team created.
We cannot wait to have you aboard because Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser is a first of its kind vacation experience where you get to spend 2 days and 2 nights living out your very own Star Wars.
Now look at all the concept
$6,000.
art for $6,000, and look at the concept art. Look, there's a Wookiee carrying a container. It's not an ice cream maker, but Wookiee carrying a container. We've got robots and first order stormtroopers, not our normal stormtroopers. We can't have that now. Okay, let's continue.
Oh wait, hold on a second.
My bad.
Can you zoom in just a little bit on that picture and see right where their cursor is? I don't know. Can you see that part? So you see
I don't know. It's a YouTube video. I don't know that I can zoom in.
So you see the Wookiee there, and he's got the container. You see the
Yes.
guy next to the Wookiee?
Right here on the right, smiling. Yes.
Smiling with his finger over his mouth saying shh.
Oh
to
no,
the
this
little
yes,
girl-
this kid. He's saying shh.
to the little girl.
We're not trying to get caught.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also a Disney creepy thing because more kids disappear at Disney than anywhere else. So,
You would, you would. Dreadnought K6. What's going on, buddy? Okay, let's continue. This is great.
Story.
Oh, I'm just too excited. We gotta go and punch it.
So we've really focused on making sure we have some of the best entertainment in the galaxy on board. One of which I'm so excited about is this pop star who is known throughout the galaxy.
oh, pause it just for a second. Pause it before we get there. Do you see her over exaggerated? She's trying to get the words out of her mouth to make people excited for this show. You can see her trying
Hang on.
so hard.
Let's do it. Now I love the hand gestures are
Yes.
always crucial, right?
Yes.
And you've learned. I think it was. It might have been President Clinton. Was it maybe past that? It might have been past that. The first president to not point. They used the thumb. Do you remember when they started using the thumb? They started doing this gesture, right? Instead of the pointing, like we're
Bob
going
Dole
to
will
talk
not.
to you. Yes, it became the thumb gesture. I know
Yes.
you all remember it, but let's look at the hand gestures as she describes this exciting adventure.
We've really focused on making sure we have some of the best entertainment in the galaxy on board. One of which I'm so excited about is this pop star
See ya, bitch.
who's known throughout the galaxy for all.
Oh, this is the. Oh no.
This is the bar, the pop.
Oh,
scene.
okay. Enjoy. Please protect your ears, ladies and gentlemen. You're about to hear one of the most amazing songs ever.
What's going on? I just popped through that door and I have no idea.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk. This is your vacation.
Look above and see the world slowly emerge before your eyes. Feel the swell as the moon begins to rise above the tide. All around, change is coming. Something.
I don't even want to. I'm
No,
sorry.
Because
I'm like, I don't want to get shut down. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
get shut down for this. So let's just pretend. Let's go. I'm too sexy for my cat. Too sexy for my cat. What you think about that?
Yeah, I mean,
this is embarrassing. This is truly here. Welcome to the new world, yo.
yeah, it's the
That's
new
right.
world.
It's a
Yeah.
non-binary world, yo. Okay.
And all these lame-looking humans running
Okay.
around there.
So-
There's actually more to the commercial.
There is more.
what's his name is just so excited about all of it. I mean, he's like really forcing that enthusiasm.
It's so bad. But and again, look, we don't have to do a deep dive, but somehow we got on the subject, so what the hell? Yeah, no,
No,
y'all,
it doesn't remind you of the Fifth Element because she could actually sing, even though they auto tuned it and everything. But it was an alien. That no, not
yeah, and
even.
it look, watch this. That
Yes.
worked, right? Like
Yes.
that actually worked. But the worst way to get people excited,
No, she's no Lilu.
this not gonna do it, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
no.
not gonna do it. It's so funny because the thing is like that was what 2021 maybe ish when this promo came out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember when the promo came out, but the promo came out right around the time you could start pre-booking.
About 3 years ago
Yeah,
is I think what
and
maybe
so
something like that.
I mean, this has to be one of the
Fascinating.
shortest run hotels in the existence of the world, except for
100%.
those pop up, horrormobiles or whatever.
Yeah, no,
You know.
yeah, right. Yeah, no, 100%. Like this was, yeah, nonetheless, yeah, they've closed it down. They're turning it into office space, evidently. But yeah, if you ever want a good laugh, and if you can find the original trailer, the entire thing,
Yeah,
yes,
man,
it
it's
is
so bad,
brutal.
so bad. Viper Scout, if somebody would do that, I'd be all in. As you've probably heard me say before, because it's becoming a trope these days. My wife worked on that movie.
Well, let's think about this for a second, though, and that's correct. But let's think about this. People, genuine Star Wars fans, would be excited about an adventure, saving the galaxy or going on a smuggling run or something like that, if they actually had stayed true and done what should have been done. Instead, they went in another direction, and obviously it failed. And what we like, here's the key, right? The key takeaway is that they should learn a lesson from this experience.
You would hope so.
You would hope so. They should learn the lesson from this experiment, and time will tell if they have. I do have some Disney news about trigger warnings before videos. I have some Disney news about some policies within the corporation that are changing, and we're going to get to those because it is time for some news of the day. Now, news of the day, listen, we all watch the Super Bowl. We can, here in a little while, go through the top 10 Super Bowl ads as determined by sources. We also can talk about the halftime show if you'd like to. But the first thing we're going to talk about,
the halftime show was not made for me.
We're going to talk about, and we're going to watch it. We're going to watch the Kanye West commercial.
Some
And
of these are just super creepy.
the reason why I want to watch the Kanye West commercial is because, in a lot of these commercials, I'm not concerned about copyrights. I'm not concerned any of that because these are corporations. These are not like movie companies or anything like that. But I want you to watch how odd some of these are. But this one in particular, and then the aftermath of this. Johnny Reno. That's a great Super Bowl, my friend.
That's it.
Okay, here is the Yeezy Super Bowl 59 commercial.
So what's up, guys? I spent like all the money for the commercial on these new teeth. So once again, I had to shoot it on the iPhone. Go to easy.com.
And there you have it. It's a 34-second ad, 30-second ad, probably cost $8 million. And he tells everybody, go to Yeezy.com. He's literally laying in a dental chair with the tools behind him on a table. He's laying back. He recorded it. Now, of course, like he says, he recorded it on an iPhone. Now, we don't know, of course. We don't know what he did, right? But what we do know is the aftermath of said particular. Now, I'm going to show you guys yesterday when I saved the website that told you to go to Yeezy.com, it took you to a merchandise store.
Yeah.
All said merchandise was removed except for a solitary shirt. This is what the website looks like now. It was taken down today. Now, why was it taken down today, folks? Why was it taken down? Well, I have a photograph that I took of said merchandise shop last night, because I knew that it would be taken down. Why was it taken down? This is the reason why it was taken down. I'm only going to show it for just a couple seconds. Cast your eyes on the top left of the screen. It won't be there long. This was the only merchandise on the Yeezy.com store. All eyes ready? 3, 2, 1. That was the only shirt available. Can you see that? The only shirt available was a symbol.
Yeah.
Oh, I took it off.
Yeah.
The only symbol available, the only shirt available was a symbol of hatred by the Yahtzee party in the 30s and 40s. Now, that was a white t-shirt with a black print. Okay. So if you're quick enough to look at it, you're quick enough to find out. Now, you can search the news all you want. You're going to find it. You're going to find the stories. The reason I want to show it is not because of anything other than information. Because the next thing that happened was this. Per Hollywood Reporter Today, many other websites. Yep, Kanye West fashion brand Yeezy has website shut down after reducing stock to Yahtzee t-shirt. So all of the Kanye West merchandise after that ad was only one t-shirt with that particular symbol. And obviously that was taken down today. Yeezy.com, the hosting platform, removed it. And not only that, it even gets more interesting, actually, as we'll show here momentarily. But evidently the brand violated policy. This is like a meltdown of proportions that we don't normally see by someone, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Who knows? Who cares? I don't care about Kanye West personally. I do not. And we'll go through some of the comments here momentarily and show maybe some of the ones that do or don't have anything crazy. I don't want you guys going nuts here in the comments. This isn't a Friday night. But Kanye West dropped by talent agency after anti-Semitic rant, effective immediately. Monday, February 10th, 33 and West, his talent agency, said effective immediately. I'm no longer representing Kanye West due to his harmful and hateful remarks that myself nor 33 and West can stand for. Peace and love to all. I'm not saying Kanye doesn't have enough money for this, but he spent $8 million on a 30-second commercial to promote a website selling a t-shirt with a Yahtzee brand. And then subsequently not only had said website taken down, but also his talent agency abandoned him. This is weird, Matthew. Like I'm not going to project and say I know what's going on. No. I don't know what's going on. Nope. But I will say we don't normally see things like this. Like this is a true, whether it's meltdown, whether it's just for attention, whether there's a bigger story at play. This is really strange stuff, man.
Yep,
and
really
the thing of it is, folks, here's the deal. You could Matthew, you could buy a Super Bowl commercial, but you know what has to happen for that to air?
It's got to get by the censors.
Hello? It has to get approved. It has to get approved. It has to get by censors. It has to get you can't buy a Super Bowl ad 45 seconds before your ad shows. These are done well in advance. Yeah. Okay. So my point is that this wasn't the only one. There were several weird, strange ads that ran this year.
Yeah.
that just didn't make sense. Were there some funny ones? Yes, there were a few funny ones. They weren't all great. They weren't all bad. But yes, 3 Star Draw says that really was an expensive commercial. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty expensive in the long run, right?
Yep.
But and Johnny Reno, right? It looks like a TikTok video, almost like the Bill Murray ad, where he went to a veterinarian clinic after he checked his pulse and did an ad to say go to a vet clinic. It's weird, but
Yep.
this in particular is like just relating to the Super Bowl, the ads and stuff like that. This was a very strange set of circumstances that is obviously having a direct effect, literally like just a couple days later. We'll get back to some of the Super Bowl stuff and maybe some of the commercials, but this news actually popped up today, and I don't know if you saw this, Matthew, but I know I did. You guys might be excited for the Masters of the Universe movie. Well, here's some casting news, just so you know. James Purefoy and Charlotte Riley cast as He-Man's parents. Now, some of you may remember James Purefoy from Rome, if I'm not mistaken. Did he not play Mark Antony in Rome? Do you remember that?
I didn't ever watch that show. I know everybody said it was good, but
oh my gosh, you're missing out, dude.
I watched.
Holy.
It wasn't Rome. It was Spartacus or something. I watched a season or so of that.
Yeah, Spartacus was okay. Rome was the jam, dude.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, you need to go back and check that out. But evidently, with the Motu movie, which I know a few people are going to be excited about. Yeah, so this is the parents of young Prince Adam. Are you curious? Like, this is looking to be a June 2026 release. We'll see if that gets changed.
Well, I mean, who's Adam? Who's He-Man?
I thought we had some casting news already. Let's
Okay.
see here. Travis Knight is directing.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's scroll down. Also on Nicholas Galitzine is the sword-wielding prince, while Jared Leto is on board as Skeletor. Your favorite Jared Leto.
Hey, you know, he's a method actor. That could be interesting.
He is. Allison Brie as Evil Lynn. Idris Elba as Duncan, Man-at-Arms.
I'm down with that.
Sam Wilson as Trapjaw. Triclops is in this movie. I'm not familiar with half Thor Bjornsson. I don't know who that person is. Morena Baccarin, you know who she is, right? As the sorceress. She's the sorceress.
Ooh.
Interesting. And Kamla Mendez as Tila. So for those Motu fans who are probably actually pretty excited for this, right? Like,
yeah.
If you're, you've been wanting this, you've been hoping this would happen after the disastrous Dolph Lundgren movie years ago.
Oh, come on, that's fun.
Oh, get at it! Come on, man.
That
It's
is
fun.
fun.
Fun is a strong word, Matthew.
Hey,
That thing was
my wife
awful.
wanted to put it in the other night. Hey, you want to watch this?
Did
I
she
mean,
really?
Come on. Yeah, Courtney Cox, and come on. There's a lot of fun there.
Listen, I'd rather watch the Dancing in the Dark video with Bruce Springsteen with Courtney Cox than.
Well, I will
He-Man.
tell you that this movie has been in production hell for 13 years now.
Oh, absolutely. It's gone through multiple scripts and
John Chu was
screenplays.
supposed to direct it after he did
Yes.
G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Yep, that's correct. And it has gone through multiple scripts and writers. And there is a great article that I read, and I wish I knew it off the top of my head. This is about 2021, about the story of a guy who basically had the blue light, or not blue light, the green light to get it made, to get it going. He wrote a great script, and then he kind of got just pushed out of the entire project and screwed out of it. I'll see. Maybe I can, as we get closer to that. That's next year, as we get closer to it. But
We'll see
but
some
I'll
more
see if I
stuff
can bring
come
that
out.
back up. Yeah, we
Yeah.
will, and we'll see some more stories about it. But I just thought that was interesting because I do like James Purefoy. I think he's a great actor. And Charlotte Riley, I don't know as much about.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that would offset me from it. I mean, it looks interesting, and if they can do a 2000X version of He-Man, I think that would be the direction that would be the most beneficial for them, because I think that show did enough justice to the Masters of the Universe, storyline wise and character wise, that could be really interesting.
I guess the thing of it is that sometimes you have to kind of look and see, okay, who was in charge of writing
Yeah.
the script, right? And you hear names, and we see that, here it is. The script is by Chris Butler. Do you want to know who Chris Butler is?
Yeah.
He has written Paranorman,
Mm-hmm.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Great movie.
Okay, so he's got some cred. He's got some cred under his belt.
Yeah.
This is the guy that's in charge of the script. So
Okay.
it could be
Yeah.
Missing Link. I did not see that, but these are animated movies, folks. So they brought someone in with the
Shoreline
animated
Corpse, right, yeah.
scene. Right. So we'll see. We'll kind of see, but as we get closer, obviously we've got plenty of time. But I'm curious. I mean, shit, I would love for a Motu movie to be successful. 100%. I would love for that.
Well,
obviously,
I'm not seeing anything on the current list of producers that would throw me off either, because
right.
the producers are adequate and there's not a massive number of them. So
there's no Kurtzman, or there's no
there's no Jar Jar Abrams Destroyer franchises.
Right.
Yeah.
Punk with Toys, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah,
always good to see you. Graf is in the house. Woody Triple Deuce is here. What's up, brother, man? Glad you joined us. And yes, Graf, Sydney Sweeney, She-Ra would be the final piece, and I would be all in, my friend.
That would be it. I know.
Listen,
AA Ron's all about that too. Mr. Trick Shot.
Look, I love some Sydney Sweeney. All right, let's not kid ourselves. And if I could, I'd put her on every thumbnail we ever did. I promise you, I would. All right, so
did you have the Brie Larson redemption tour?
I did not. I haven't. I was gonna bring it up maybe in a week or two.
Okay.
I want to get a little more out of that first.
Okay.
I want to get a little more out of the Brie Larson redemption tour. We might. I did want to bring this story up. News of the day. We're gonna push through a few of these more stories before we get to our Hollywood news and kind of get to topical in particular. But Disney is dumping its DEI initiatives. They are also dumping their trigger warnings at the beginning of some of their movies. If you remember recently,
Dumbo.
Yes, if you remember recently, that's absolutely right. They were going through and adding trigger warnings and stuff like that. So they're also kind of restructuring. I think this is a sign of the times. I also think that I find it interesting, and I'm not going to get political here, but I do want to say, I find it quite interesting that when there is a shift, how quickly so many people and so many companies literally do an about face.
Yeah.
Is it not fascinating to you to see?
It is and it isn't, because whatever's swirling around the public discourse is what people believe. And if that public discourse has been manipulated by a group of people to suppress everything but the narrative that they want to put forward, and so all you hear repetitively is that same propaganda narrative, you begin to believe it and buy into it and think this is the way people are thinking, this is what people want. And in a corporate mindset, that's all you are, is a pleaser. You have to try to appease everyone. If you're in Hollywood,
Right.
that's all you do. You backstab your best friend to appease the guy next to you, because then the guy next to you is going to give you a job. And so this is the nature of Hollywood. This is the nature of politics. This is the nature of corporations in a lot of ways. And so these people are always vying to gain power over somebody else, and they figure this is the way to do it. And it's been working until the rug gets pulled out from under them, and the curtain's pulled back, and everybody sees the wizard. And now you realize, oh, this was all nonsense. And
it's just fascinating to me just how quickly and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, you know what, we're going to reverse course on this. And I do find it very, very fascinating. Now, we saw a few years ago ahead of Dumbo, Peter Pan, and other movies that they decided to put, trigger warnings and stuff like that. And it says Disney is adjusting the content warnings ahead of some of its old movies, including Peter Pan and Dumbo. As first reported by Axios, Disney is changing the disclaimer that auto plays before these titles.
Yep.
The previous version noted that the film includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of peoples or cultures. And now the new version says this program is presented as originally created and may contain stereotypes or negative depictions. So they've reworded it. It's still somewhat the same.
No, but you know what? This is exactly actually what a lot of people were saying, right? Don't put all this trigger warning nonsense up there. Just say this is of its time and place.
Yes.
Come on, want to say hi?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on. There we go. Hang on a
Yes,
second.
Panda.
Hang on. Let's
Hey,
stop
look.
sharing
Can we
this.
see yourself
Let's
on the
do
camera?
this and let's
Huh?
do that. There we
How
go,
you doing,
doggo.
What you
Doggo,
doing? Wanna say
doggo,
hi?
doggo.
Look over there. There she goes for the window.
Oh, well, it's worth a shot. There we go. Yeah. No, and as people, in here, obviously, look, Grass said, look, Disney says this junk all the time. Fool me once. 3-star says all this money these companies waste on shit like this. No one in the boardroom ever thinks we should hit the streets and survey the everyman, which used to be
Yes.
common.
Yeah.
The working man, the everyman. And you saw a lot of movies, a lot of shows that were about the everyman, about middle America, about in Ohio,
Ohio
or whatever, right? and they very much got away from that, but it's been done before. Woody Triple Deuce says these companies will always do what helps the bottom line, whether it's right or wrong, and that is correct.
No, it's not correct because for the last 10 years, almost 20 years.
No, you're right in this.
They've been throwing money in the garbage can.
You are
because they were getting trinkets, trickle down handouts from the federal government or other organizations to do these things, and they thought that the general audiences were going to buy it because they love product. They're going to buy product because we tell them to buy product, and whatever we do with product, they're going to be happy with because we are a corporation and we have brand label. And that wasn't the case, and they lost billions of dollars, and they still couldn't figure it out. And now that the curtain's been pulled back, now they're like, oh wait, that's why we've lost so much money. It wasn't because we blame the fans. It wasn't because of toxic fandom. It was because we produced a bunch of garbage. Some of them are realizing this, and now they're saying, okay, now we need to fix it. So the bottom line is, ultimately, it will come down to money when they're pressed hard enough, and Hollywood is bankrupt because of it, and they did it to themselves. They had all these strikes, they had all these other things, they wasted all this money and time, and they put a stranglehold on themselves.
Now this content warning, I want to go back to this quickly because originally this was their original statement. The one they've gone back to, it just says, hey, this program is presented as originally created. It may contain outdated cultural depictions. But I want to show you, and I want you guys to understand.
Daryl Hannah's hair back to normal on Splash? That's my question.
I'm going to say I doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to say I doubt it. I'm going to say they probably are still covering the butt cheeks. But what I want to say is, this is the content warning, and I'm going to read it out to you so you can understand how ridiculous this is. So in 2020, they changed their trigger warning to say this. This program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. I'm not done. Disney is committed to creating stories with inspirational and aspirational themes that reflect the rich diversity of the human experience around the globe. So you had all of that inserted in 2020, and now they've gone back to just this. This program is presented as originally created. It may contain outdated cultural depictions. That is the word salad that we got so often from so many of these companies, and the heads of companies was just a bunch of gobbledygook, right?
Well, and to be fair, I mean, as a parent, you got to make those decisions on your own. You got to do your research before you show stuff to your kid anyway.
Absolutely.
So, and seeing even that warning right there could spark a question in your kid's mind, and they're going to ask you, what about that is offensive? And I go, well, let's watch it and find out. And then you watch it, and then you're like, what was culturally offensive about that? And you're like, I don't know. It was a story, and people, you know that all people of this don't behave that way, but that was that group of people, or those people who behave that way, not all people that look like that or whatever.
Right.
Okay, sure, you can have that conversation, and you should have that conversation, but at the same time, that's not what it was about. It was about that moment, that place, that time, those people, those characters.
I think there's nothing wrong with I think there's nothing wrong with just saying, hey, this was created in this, era, and this may not be the norm now. You keep it short, keep it sweet and simple. That's it. You don't have to. I mean, that thing I just read to you guys, like who has time to read all that before they just want to watch Dumbo? You literally just want to watch Dumbo. You don't need to get into all that shit, and it's like, but yeah. So Garaf has it right though. Bobby Joe Iger and Kathy Kennedy locked outside Disney Studios, and then I'll start believing. Yes, I get that. Obviously, you're not alone. There's so many people who
the weatherman is only known for buying stuff, man. He's not known for creating a darn thing. He only buys things.
And truthfully, I mean, even if Kathy Kennedy was gone tomorrow, don't you think the person taking her place is just gonna?
The person taking her place might be Leslie Headland. So then we'd be there.
Well, and that's always like when I would work in in a restaurant, and they get rid of a manager that supposedly everybody didn't like, and then the next one is that much worse. It's like be careful what you wish for, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, again, go back and watch Chuck. Chuck is one of the great TV shows of the 2008.
I forgot about that. Yeah, right. Good
that
old Chuck.
Chuck and Community, man, those shows are just awesome.
I mean,
they depicted so many things that were happening. And if you go back and watch Community and remember when it was filmed, and if you can actually get to all the episodes, because streaming won't show all the episodes because some of them are offensive.
Well, and Chevy Chase got in trouble.
And Chevy Chase got in a lot of trouble, and it drove Donald Glover to have some mental health issues. Yeah. And that's why he left the show.
Golly, dude. Like it feels like so long ago.
I'm sure it had direct relationship to Chevy Chase and the stuff that he was doing between what Chevy Chase was doing on set and who Donald Glover is and the character he was playing and that stuff.
Hang on, ladies and gentlemen.
You got another one?
No. We have breaking news. Breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Zero is reporting that Kathleen Kennedy is out.
You serious?
No, he's not.
Mike
Zero is
for the weekend. She's taking a little vacation for a couple of days. She'll be back on Monday.
She'll be back on Monday, folks. She's going on a canoe trip, a douche canoe trip. Anyway.
I knew you were going to go there soon.
I couldn't help myself. All right. Last but not least, as news of the day, before we get into Hollywood, evidently a Super Bowl performer was detained after halftime. Did you know this, Matthew?
I think I heard something on it.
Evidently, there was a Super Bowl performer, somebody who was part of the dance troupe, was detained after their performance. They got up on the cutlass and held up a flag that said Sudan and Gaza. They have been detained and banned from NFL events.
Wait. What about that other green, red, and white flag that some people had?
What are you talking about?
the Palestinian flags.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't? Okay.
No, this is the only story that was, it's the only one that was reported.
Well, that was the only person who was arrested, right? I mean, the other people weren't.
And you see right here too. I mean, this is while the I don't know while the performance going on. But anyway, it says performer in the Super Bowl halftime show was detained on the field and is now banned from all stadiums and events. He it says hit a combination Sudanese Palestinian flag written on it up until the halftime show, as seen in fan captured footage. The performer stood on a car and used as a prop. If you saw the performance at the very beginning, it was a prop, a cutlass, and then he threw the flag up. Now it did get cut away during the performance. It did show up somewhat in the background as like there were camera shots and stuff like that. But yeah, he was tackled by 3 people, security in suits, and it says no one was aware of his individual intent, but he did get detained and he got dragged to the sidelines, evidently. But I saw that, and it's like you just never know these days. You just never know. Like, you think you hired a dancer? You think you hired a dancer? Mm-mm. You hired an activist.
Yeah, well, everybody feels entitled to express their opinion these days.
And look,
and here we are on YouTube expressing our opinion.
And so. I will tell you, I will absolutely defend to the end of me the right for anybody to be able to do that.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with that. So, but at the same time, yeah, this person got detained and dragged off, and I guess we'll find out maybe the details later, but I did see that story today. We may very well not, actually. You may very well be right. Yeah. Now, do you guys, I'll throw it in the chat for those of you, do you want to watch the top Super Bowl ads? They're just back to back to back. They don't last very long, but they're back to back to back. Do you guys want to watch the Super Bowl ads that were deemed as the top Super Bowl ads? Or should we move on? It's totally up to you guys. Matthew, I don't know about you, if you really even care. I do have a video that basically runs through those top ads. Some of them were, some of them were okay. They're
they're okay. So most of them were just creepy weird.
The eyebrow one. The eyebrow one from the Little Caesars commercial was funny. Okay, the Pringles thing was almost exactly the same.
It was creepy, but darn it, I want some of those bacon pizzas, man. But the Pringles one,
I'm not going to argue with you.
The Pringles one was a little creepier to me because that mustache landed in all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So.
Now Daredevil Dave says, let's do it. Clint Jorgensen says, no, just play the Moss Man ad 3 times. Now that's I'm not going to lie. That is a quality ad. All right, we'll give it up. The mustache one was creepy as hell. Yeah. That was the Pringles. I thought it was interesting though that Little Caesars had one almost exactly the same.
Yeah, with the eyebrows.
Now, are they both owned by Pepsi Cola? Because I can only imagine that that's how that happened. I really could, because the Little Caesars one with the eyebrows, honestly. But what's the comedian's name?
Is it not Sean Levy? What's his name?
No. Yeah, Levy, you're on the right track. Martin. Shit, whatever. Anyway, yeah. You guys will know in the chat. I'm sure you will.
Eugene Levy.
Yes. Okay. That was pretty funny. I got a kick out of that shit, watching the eyebrows fly around and land on the baby and shit like that. But I'm a sucker for slapstick comedy, so that kind of stuff falls exactly in my wheelhouse. Okay.
What'd you think of the
Bills coach?
No. What'd you think of the Jeep commercial?
Okay, so I did not actually see said Jeep commercial, Harrison Ford Jeep commercial, and if you guys want to watch, we can watch it. I have all these at my fingertips. I have them all at my fingertips.
Let's do it.
So let's watch the Harrison Ford Jeep commercial. I'm typing it up right now.
So I will tell you this. So I'll tell you this too. If you watch the commercial during the Super Bowl, and then you went to YouTube and watched the commercial, they're different commercials.
That's interesting because I'm bringing up. It says this says Harrison Ford appears in Jeep Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
2
so-
minutes. This is a 2-minute commercial.
Right. So the commercial that aired
Was different.
Was different. And I'll tell you this, because I mean the Budweiser one is probably the biggest one that you can notice the difference. But a lot of these will have there'll be extended versions of the commercial that are on YouTube versus what was actually shown.
Then this may very well be. I don't know. And
Yeah.
Punk is informing us that Little Caesars is its own company.
Yeah.
They own the Red Wings and the Tigers. Wow, damn,
Yep.
man. And they make some amazing hot and readies. But anyway,
Well, yeah, apparently, I mean, they rip off Eugene Levy's eyebrows.
no, they flew off. They didn't
flew
rip off. Okay, come on, Jesus, Matthew, you're just terrible.
And you know what was even creepier is that they used his daughter at the end of that commercial.
Oh my God, they did. They did. They also used Greta Gerwig in a commercial too at the end,
that
right?
was
She
so
was
cringe.
the So here's the Harrison Ford. This is 2 minutes, folks. 2 minutes can seem like a lifetime on YouTube when you're watching a video.
Forever.
Is this the original? I don't know. I personally don't know. So we're just gonna play it and see what happens.
Longest thing we ever do is live our lives.
No, it's listen to you talk.
But life doesn't come with an owner's manual.
A what? A what
Might be
manual?
nice.
A owner's manual?
But that means
Come on,
we get to
Betty,
write
open
our
your mouth.
own stories. Freedom is yes or no or maybe. Freedom is for everybody, but it isn't free. It's earned. There are real heroes in the world, but not the ones in the movies. Real heroes are humble. They're not driven by pride. Pride is a terrible driver. Freedom is the roar of one man's engine and the silence of another's. Freedom is the ability to inspire. The most sacred thing in life isn't the path. It's the freedom to choose it. You don't have to be friends with someone to wave at them. We won't always agree on which way to go. But our differences can be our strength. So choose, but choose wisely. Choose what makes you happy. My friends, my family, my work make me happy. This Jeep makes me happy, even though my name is...
All right. So what am I supposed to? I mean, I get it. I get what I'm supposed to take out of this commercial, right?
Hey, I mean, too little, too late, Hollywood. But
Well, and that is interesting because honestly, while I was watching it, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like now you're promoting family. Now you're promoting values. Now you're promoting waving at somebody you don't know. And maybe maybe we don't all agree. But,
now you're inviting conversation and discourse where before it was only sowing division and hatred. You can never associate someone who disagrees with you. You must disown them and send them to hell or whatever. All this hate and division that's been propagated for the last 16 years. And now you're telling me, okay, you're going to turn it around now and say, hey, we need to talk to each other. We need to see where each other's perspectives are from. We might disagree, but, we can still be friends and get along. Well, just 4 months ago, you were telling me anybody who votes for the other guy, you can never see again. Don't ever go to a holiday event. No, don't say hi to them. Don't give them hugs. Don't, even though they're your brother, your sister, your mother, you must disown them.
I mean, the thing of it is, look, dude, here's the thing. Like, you're 100% correct. And I know people probably get tired of you and me making little barbs here and there and jabs, and they may watch on a Friday night and hear me say shit, this and that. But, like, you guys need to understand, like, this is fucking true. Like, this is true shit. And especially out of your movie stars and even someone as old as Harrison Ford that's been around the block that at this point in his life should get it.
Yeah.
All of this stuff happened. Like, this was all true. sowing division and pitting people against each other and telling you that if you didn't like the Super Bowl halftime show, you were an istophobe. Like I still saw those articles on Monday. Like it's amazing to me, and no, very true. And yet, sometimes you're right. Like, too little, too late. We'll see. If that's a relationship that is to be rebuilt, it will take a lot of work. And there are a lot of cynical people out there right now, including myself, who will need that work to be done before I actually truly believe again in the magic, right? The magic of it all. And that's a shame. It's a damn shame. We're going to talk about a show that came out in 2015 that did make magic.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it here shortly. Viper Scout, what's going on? Says the owner of Little Caesars was an awesome human. Found out Rosa Parks was living in poverty. Found her an apartment and paid her rent for the rest of her life. That's pretty badass.
Yep.
I love that. Anybody like that, I got their back, right?
Yep.
Like, and don't get me wrong, there may be some other things in there that owner, founder, may have done. I don't know. But hearing that, I'm all about that life. That's great. Daredevil Dave. Yeah, the halftime performance used to be it used to be a big deal. It was a big deal. It's
until what's her name flashed her chest on her boob on screen.
Well, Janet Jackson, when Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, damn, Clint, Rosa Parks got Crazy Bread for life, dude. That's tight. That is some tight shit right there. That's awesome, dude. I'm so happy to hear that. I wish I got Crazy Bread for life. You kidding me? Now, just to skim through quickly, I did have it brought up. We're not going to watch every one of them, but we'll skim through to see.
Well, so I mean, that Jeep commercial, I did chuckle at that last part from a guy named Ford. I thought that was funny. At the end of the Jeep commercial,
not bad. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
I'll
but
give you
that commercial could have been cut down to about 30 seconds.
100%. Now, I don't know if that was the full commercial during the Super Bowl. I really don't.
That's what I remember seeing at the Super Bowl. And if that was 2 minutes, then they had to pay about $16 million for that or something.
Yeah. Well, no, 30 seconds. So 2 minutes, it would have been $24 million for that. Okay, so here's the deal. And yes, Clint, Janet, was she innocent?
Whatever. Who cares?
She did take the fall, and Tony's figs. 100%. I agree with you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play you something. No one beats
the Prince.
I'm going to play you something right now. Tony's figs. Since you showed that, no one beats Prince. Fight me, and this is what I'm going to show for you guys. Enjoy. Fight me over that, bitches. All right.
And so that man has a lifetime of songs in his vault that will never be released that he recorded through his entire home.
Oh, it's unbelievable. But just the splits alone, my friends. Hello, friends.
What's up,
and the words of Jim Nance as Legend Series joins us as we get near Augusta, coming up the Masters after March Madness on CBS. All right. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Clint, let's just don't get into it right now. Okay, so anyway, so we're gonna go through this. I'm gonna scrub through it. So we had the Harry Met Sally, or when Sally, or whatever the fuck, Harry Met Sally, the commercial where she faked the orgasm.
This was kind of funny.
It was kind of funny.
No good?
No.
To Hellman's commercial of all things.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, boy.
So good. It's so.
This one's real.
I'll have what she's having.
Booking.com has
Can't
something
argue
for
with that.
everyone.
We had Kermit. And Kermit.
You got anything more boutique?
Oui, right this way.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Muppets.
We have
What's that?
I enjoyed the Muppets commercial. I thought this one was fun.
Look, come on. Right? Waldorf and Statler.
Cancellation. Booking.com.
The Seal commercial is pretty good with the Seal. This is ridiculous.
So messed up. No, so messed up.
It's not even right. It's not even even right. I'm
you know,
sorry.
so
I have
I
to
had a-
turn
I had
it
a
down
friend-
because
I had a friend who posted the image from this commercial, and and you know what he said?
What?
He's scenes from the new Avatar movie.
Oh no! Oh no, dude! This is so weird. This is so weird. It's not right.
Okay, so you know what else it reminds me of? Is when Iceberg turned into a whale
Oh, you
in
better
G.I.
stop.
Joe. I mean, come on.
And
Oh,
or
look at
what was
water
the
splashing.
movie with Justin Long? Justin Long, where the guy turns him into a walrus.
Oh, that was Tusk. That was
Tusk.
that was Kevin
Yes.
Smith.
Kevin Smith, Tusk. That's right. This was pretty good. I like this one here with the old.
What are we gonna name it? We're in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Come on, what are we gonna name it, Bill? We're in
That's
Buffalo.
pretty good.
Halftime show presented by an apple in a stadium named after
A salad.
Caesars, get it? Hello.
Yeah,
You
but see,
want
I
me
mean,
to
this
make a movie?
Matthew McConaughey was everybody throughout time and history trying to promote that the NFL is all about trying to sell food. This commercial's ridiculous.
It was pretty good. You know, let's see.
Now, this
It's-
one, the Matt Damon,
Uh
Beckham.
this one here, which was the
Oh,
Dunkin'
so
Donuts.
this is a repeat. I mean, not a repeat, but
last last
sequel.
year I think they had
Yeah.
like with Tom
the
Brady
Dunkin'
and
with no the Ben Affleck and Casey
Oh,
did
that's
a
right.
Dunkin' Donuts commercial
weird,
last year.
weird, weird.
Um,
I gotta save that, by the way.
yeah.
Weird.
You did okay. So did I ever tell you in Japan I had people taking pictures of me, and at the time that I was there, and everybody called me like Beckham Coon because they thought I looked like David Beckham.
Oh wow.
And so literally people on the train thought I was David Beckham, so they were trying to sneak pictures of me.
Okay. I did not. That's interesting.
That was funny. That was a weird time.
Any company that uses the phrase "because I put that shit on everything," I'm okay with that company. And it's hot sauce, obviously.
Everything. Show me how you're kicking things up a notch with Frank's Red Hot for the big game. It could be any food. Buffalo chicken dip, wings, waffles, ice cream, caviar, chips, pink chips. Loves it. And that's not just hot, that's red hot.
Actors.
I'm okay. I
Yeah,
put that
that's all
shit
right.
on
That's all
everything.
right.
I'm fine with that. Walton Goggins, I think, with his
Oh,
he's
that's-
got the head of himself in his little storage, whatever the hell that is.
Right.
Let's see. Like I said, I'm just kind of this
There's
is
a
it. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I think this is fantastic.
Whoa.
This is fantastic, folks.
Is this little Becky?
We're not worthy.
It is so cute. My dad's eating crazy puffs again. Don't ask.
Whoa. Have you tried the new bacon ones?
There are bacon ones?
Yeah. So, okay.
I'm sorry. That's
to be
fucking
fair,
good. That's
to be
good.
fair, I'm watching this commercial saying this is the most ridiculous thing ever, and then they say there's bacon ones, and I'm like, I'm in. I want
Yes.
bacon
Hello.
ones.
Who doesn't like bacon?
What is the food though? I know it's from Little Caesars, but what are they?
Who doesn't like bacon, folks? I'm sorry. The Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez couldn't care about that one.
I mean, come on, it was kind of funny. The Fast and the Furious wasn't Fast and Furious for a minute.
That's true.
Not
That's
so
true.
fast, not so furious. I mean, that was kind of funny.
Let's see. As I'm trying to look through, this guy. Listen, I'm all about Van Halen. So this commercial
Tastier. Those look just
got to me.
That was ridiculous.
What about the three bears?
This is my story.
But yeah, the bears were there.
Thank you for sharing your cookie.
Oh my God, this one was ridiculous.
This one was.
This was
crazy.
ridiculous.
I'll miss you too. They're the most snackable pizza in the universe.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
Fortunately, that's just a part of life.
It's part of life.
We didn't actually know him that well. I mean, you guys had a connection. I get it. But, I mean,
Rest in
we're not
peace,
really going to
Chasmo.
be that upset.
We didn't
Rest
know
in
him as
peace, Chasmo. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for slapstick comedy. I like Caddyshack and Stripes and all that stupid shit. I'm sorry, I am, and that one definitely got me.
That commercial, whatever was popping up next, that they showed that like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, really? I mean,
Oh
what
yeah,
kind of?
yeah.
I mean,
I
it was
don't
so
need.
stupid.
I don't need the like back and forth because you talk different, because you think different, or whatever it was. Yeah, but anyway,
I thought the Harrison Ford one did it better than that one. So
so 3 stars says that was Mac from Mac and Me.
No, it was not.
But and of course I know you're kidding, but yeah, it's no that was good stuff.
If
I
it
got a
was
kick out
Mac
of it.
from Mac and Me, they would have made it a mac and cheese commercial, not a Totino's commercial.
But there were a few good ones. Look, do I think that the Super Bowl commercials are a passe thing now? Like I said earlier, it's like with Disney World. I'm going to Disney World and Disneyland. It's kind of passe. Do people still anticipate it? They do.
Yeah.
In 1990, in 1987 or 85, whenever it really started really kicking off, or 82, whatever. It was new. It was fresh. It was like, oh my God, which advertising company can one up each other?
Yeah.
Coke, Pepsi, Cindy Crawford, like Britney Spears, like,
And I think the last time that it made a real cultural impact was GoDaddy.com. When the GoDaddy commercials first came out, everybody's like, what is this commercial about?
That's
What
right.
is it? And everybody's like, what the hell is GoDaddy? And then everybody figures out what GoDaddy is. And they why it was such a good commercial, why everybody paid attention to it.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it was the hot half naked women throughout the whole commercial.
Like Carl's Jr.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, come on. And 3 stars says bring back the GoDaddy chick. Clint Jorgensen says Coors needs to bring back Spuds McKenzie. That was a great ad. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Like, that's what I mean. Like, now, advertising.
I did like the Budweiser commercial with the little horse.
With the horse rolling the keg to the bar, and the guy's shooting pool. He says a horse walks into a bar, and the guy's looking behind him, and he's like, and that's good. That's fun.
No, that was funny. And then the extended version is on YouTube, and so that one was another 30 seconds longer.
Yeah, that's what my ex-girlfriend used to say. But anyway, so hang on a minute. But yeah, no, I think that it's almost in a way a thing of the past, so to speak.
Yep.
But I do think that we still look forward to it. It's just one of those things that these companies. What I really think happened is as the .com, as the e-company and all that stuff proliferated, we in a way we lost touch with like the brick and mortar and like the put your hands on it, if that makes sense, kind of thing, right? And so the commercials, comedy changed. It became like really quick and really like, and the I just feel like the best commercials are the ones that really take their time. The slapstick comedy stuff is always, for me, always a winner. It's like those Snickers commercials. Yeah. When you're not yourself or whatever, that kind of stuff.
What is the key element in all of these things that we're talking about that we love so much that became iconic? They became iconic because they were new, they were fresh, they were different, they were shocking in some ways. And then everybody tried to repeat it, and it was never as good. Sometimes they were really good, but they were never as good as the first time that you hit that ad that like shocked you and made you laugh so hard that you remembered that commercial for the next 30 years.
Yeah, for years. Bud,
right.
Why? Zer. I mean, all that stuff.
Come on, man. The Budweiser frogs, where are they these days?
No, you're correct.
But it's all about fresh, new ideas. It's not about repeating what you've already done. And that's the frustration that some actors have. I totally get that about not being typecast, but it's the same thing with the Super Bowl ads, with the Academy Awards and all these things. They just got stale because they kept trying to repeat everything and try to make it better, but they were still just repeating what was already done.
Yeah, I just, look, did I think there were some good commercials? I did.
Yeah.
Is it what it used to be? I don't think so.
No.
And I don't think it ever will be because unfortunately, as things go on, it's really hard to recapture that magic. It's
Yeah.
really hard to do that again
Yeah.
and in the zeitgeist. And those advertisements for probably a good 15 years really were. But as we got from 85 to 2000, and then beyond, I just think things started to lose their luster, as is natural. It happens. You know what I mean?
There ain't no
What's
three-peat
up,
for the
dudes?
Chiefs, so there ain't no three-peat for the.
That's true. That's true. Maybe we're gonna see those AI commercials. Maybe we are. People are gonna go that route. I don't know. We will see. But we got to get into some Hollywood news as we round second base and start to get rounding the bases and start to bring it on home. Captain America: Brave New World aims for 90 million plus U.S. opening, nearly 200 million globally. Opening up against Paddington in Peru.
Yeah. So
and Bridget Jones mad about you hits Peacock.
So this is what they're projecting that their opening weekend is going to be.
Oh Lord.
If 90 million is their US opening, then they're expecting less than 300 million total US box office gross, which will not even come close to touching their production budget.
Matthew, if they do 90 million opening weekend, what's going to happen the following weekend? What's the percentage drop off?
So I mean, at a minimum it's 30%. I believe it's probably going to be about a 64% drop off.
60%.
I'm saying 64%.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah,
that tells you it's going to drop off quickly.
Yeah, and the third week drop off may not be as harsh because there's a lot less ground to cover at that point, right? But
That's right.
But by that point, it's already going to be out of some major theaters, or at least some of the theaters, some of the screens inside of theaters, right? So they're going to be pulling it pretty quick if it doesn't do gangbusters that opening weekend.
Yeah, I think this movie's really going to struggle. We've talked about it.
I think it's going to do better than 45.
I think 45 is underselling it. I think it will because
I think it'll probably do about 65.
I'm with you. I think over 50. I believe. I think just because people they want to check it out. It does have. Some of those names they recognize. They may not have recognized Shang-Chi. They may not have recognized, Yelena.
I also think it depends on how many people actually watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because the more people that watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, the less people are going to go see this movie. I'm just saying.
Well, because they already kind of maybe feel like they know what they're in for, or they don't buy into Sam being Cap,
I heard some people talking about it today, and I have to absolutely agree with them. And I thought that way when I first saw it. I said, the writers of this show hate these characters. These characters hate themselves. These characters hate this country. These characters hate writing comic book stuff. The whole thing was written out of hatred and malice. There is nothing positive about this because every single line that the good guys said is a direct quote from a villain of old stories, of hero stories, because the people writing this are horrible people that don't know right from wrong.
Yeah, I just find this with the reshoots and a lot of the money that they've spent, I don't think it's going to make its budget back. I think we're going to see a 60% drop off after the first weekend. Predictions being 90 million, I think is kind of high.
Yep.
200 million globally. I think people overseas don't give a shit about seeing a Captain America that isn't Chris Evans. And this is going to fall flat on its face. And of course, this movie has been in production for quite some time.
Yeah.
And
you and I have a friend who's been traveling the world as of late. He's a friend of mine. You know who he is.
Yeah.
And he commented on, in the middle of the jungles of Peru, what did he see? He said he saw people wearing a Captain America t-shirt.
Right.
A Steve Rogers Captain America t-shirts. Right.
Yes.
They weren't wearing other superheroes. Sometimes you'll see Spider-Man or whatever, but he was amazed. that's what he saw. And so this isn't what people are expecting. And so they're going to come in and they're going to be like, wait, where's Steve? Or
and
even if they're up on it, they're like, okay, this is what kind of story is this? Okay.
Red Hulk also is not
garbage.
going to drive
No.
traffic. There are not enough Red Hulk fans out there that are going to go see this movie for the 2.5 minutes he's on screen.
So I've also been hearing another debate. I don't know if you've heard about this debate or not.
Maybe.
But it's why doesn't one, why doesn't Harrison Ford have the mustache? But two, why doesn't Red Hulk have the mustache? And in the comic books, Red Hulk, that character was the general, never had the mustache, even though the general did. Red Hulk never did. The Red Hulk that had the mustache was actually a different character. It wasn't based off that general.
Right.
And so people miss all this and they say, oh, I like the Red Hulk with the mustache. I'm like, well,
Right.
okay, but that wasn't this guy.
Yeah, it's 3-star says I want to see Edward Norton Hulk beating everyone. I mean, had we gotten that Hulk with the Avengers, man, I'm curious. Like I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. Like I really don't know what that looks like if they continue down that path with him, in that role instead of Mark Ruffalo, instead of recasting.
3-star, I kind of have to disagree in the fact that I think that the people that may have gotten super excited about that never read a comic book in their life.
Yeah, I was going to say
because those stories are trash. They're really not good. And so if they saw it, they're like, "Ooh, look, another Hulk! Yay! Clap, seal, clap! We like Hulk.
Right.
We want more Hulk stuff." I think it's more the Marvel stands than it is the people who actually read the comic books or were interested in it. But that's my opinion.
Okay, so Cap, we'll see. We'll get to it when it releases. I'm going to go see it. I have to. And so I can talk about it. However, it's interesting. Clint mentions that about 36 million being the highest weekend box office so far this year. That will change. That will change. It's early, but also you and I have talked about a Buffy reboot. And look, I was not, by the time Buffy was out and going. For me, I was not really watching a lot of network television at that time, but there's a lot of people that are super excited about a Buffy reboot, and this is what Sarah Michelle Gellar has to say about a Buffy reboot.
Today, about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've heard that it's coming back, and I also heard that you are pleased with the script, but said also that it's got to be done right.
Yes, I mean, I think that's true, and I've always stood by that I was never sure there was a way to do it. And when Chloe Zhao first came to me, I was so overwhelmed. I mean, she's one of the only women to ever win the Academy Award as Best Director. I mean, she's...
All right, let's stop right there. Chloe Zhao won an Academy Award for Best Director for a documentary that showed an actress basically longingly staring off in the distance as she traveled across the country. And she is not an action director.
She's not an action director. Two, winning the Best Director for that film was a political statement.
She directed The Marvels, Matthew. Did you guys see The Marvels? That's Chloe Zhao, folks.
Yeah, it was a political statement. It wasn't a statement of quality. And even though the documentary may have been done, well made and all that stuff, no documentarian wins director of the year or whatever. I mean, it's nice.
I mean, it just, look, I just think you're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
But evidently because Joss Whedon has been banished forever, then obviously, this direction. If I was a Buffy fan, those are the words Chloe Zhao I would be scared to hear.
The other clip you need to get is Steve Carell. Oh God, no, God, no. That that clip.
Oh yeah.
Because I believe everybody who's a fan of Buffy and Angel, when they heard this news, said the same thing. It was like, okay, go God, no, no, please, no, God, no, because you can't. Okay, Sarah Michelle Gellar, obviously she must be hurting for money because she's been dead against a reboot of Buffy forever
100%.
until now, and so something changed her mind now. So that must mean she needs money. I don't know if that's true or not, but she wants to get back on the screen because she has not been on the screen. She has not been on screen in a long
Anybody
time.
that's been involved with that show for a long time,
yeah,
are not doing anything. Like they're not doing anything right now. You have maybe one actor, and then they're doing some voice stuff.
David Boreanaz does some stuff.
Yes,
Seth Green does stuff. The
he
actress who plays Willow does a few things.
I understand. But overall, you know what I'm saying. Like, this would be a paycheck for some actors who do you want to see a Buffy reboot?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
No.
Yeah.
No,
So
you don't.
I mean, that's you had it. So thank you. I figured you might, but there it is.
Actually, I got one more for you.
That's my answer.
Do you want to see a Buffy reboot? No, you don't.
Yeah. No. I mean, that's just. You have to leave well enough alone, and without Joss Whedon,
I agree.
There is no Buffy the Vampire Slayer without Joss Whedon.
I agree with you.
He took part in the movie, which was.
Oh, I lost Matthew. Matthew is frozen.
In the TV series and out of Angel and Firefly. Oh. Yeah. Am I back?
Are you okay?
No, I don't know.
Hang on. You're phasing back in. You're phasing back.
Okay.
Wait. He's there. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back.
I don't know where that's coming from because you've been popping in and out all night.
Have I been popping in and out?
Well, on my side, I don't know if they're catching it or not.
Son of a bitch. That's sad cat music for this. What the hell? It's gone off the rails, folks. It's out of control now.
Yeah.
I was not a big Buffy fan. I did not watch the show. I was a big 90210 guy and whatever, which I know a lot of people be like, gay, but that was my jam back in the day.
I highly recommend you go back and watch it. I liked 4 out of the 5 seasons of Angel. The 4th season was rough, but 4 out of Angel was pretty good too. Probably better than Buffy, but Buffy was quality programming. You got to take it for its time and place, but I thought it was really good. If you take it with intersexual modern politic type of things, you might be twisted on it, but you got to take it in the context of time and place, and it was good. It really was, especially when they changed the Watcher.
Man, I'm sorry, I have to do it one more time just for 3-star draw. It's so stupid. I don't even know why I have this stuff, but it's so dumb.
It's on your watch before you die list. Well, I'll tell you what, I rewatched the series with my sister while she was in the hospital with her son while he was going through cancer. And so we, I had seen it all before, but she hadn't. And so we rewatched it all together while taking care of my nephew in the hospital. So
listen, I'm definitely not opposed to going back and rewatching as what we'll talk about really with our main thing. There was something I teased on we'll finish up with the thing I teased at the very end, but I want to get into Daredevil before we get too deep in the cups here. Actually, hang on. Speaking of deep in the cups, give me 1 second. I got a cold. I don't know what it is. I gotta have just a little more touch there, just a little bit. All right. So look, we got to get into it. Speaking of Daredevil, Dave, 100%. we got to get into Daredevil before we get way too down the rabbit hole. The thing of it is, Matthew, I saved too many stories. I saved so many stories and so many articles, and I feel like, oh, we're going to get through this, we're going to get through that, and ultimately at the end of the day, I end up having to cherry pick the stuff that I have.
There's always
saved.
a lot of stuff out there, right?
There's a lot of stuff out there, and honestly, sometimes when I save it, I think, oh, this is a good idea, and then I go, you know what? Actually, on retrospect, that's really not a story anybody cares about. I will say, we did have a celebrity death. I do want to bring it up because Peter Navy, Tua Sosopo, died. Street Fighter Necessary Roughness actor, was 61 years old. You may remember this guy right here. He, especially from Necessary Roughness, because I definitely remember that show.
Yep.
But definitely, even on Street Fighter 316 AM, I think it was, what was this posted? February 10th. So this was like overnight, I believe. I saw this story late, early. But he was 61 years old, started acting in 1991. But he was, Necessary Roughness is probably where I remember him the most.
Yep.
But, you guys remember him. I mean, he played, look, he was probably typecast for the most part in a lot of the stuff that he did. But he was in Scorpion King, Goldmember, Austin Powers. He was in Basketball, Charlie's Angels, Batman and Robin, 12 Rounds with John Cena. Like, he did a bunch of stuff. In the recent Magnum PI reboot, Ray Donovan.
That show wasn't as bad as some people gave it.
No, I heard good things. I actually heard good things about it, even though I never really watched it. But you guys probably recognize this dude. But anyway, so rest in peace to Peter Navy, Tua Sosopo, 61 years old, which is pretty damn young.
Yeah.
But also he was a big fella, and that may very well contribute in some shape, form, or fashion. And
Punk,
says,
we
don't forget.
We saw that meme. We saw that meme you put up today.
15 years, Whitney Houston has been drug free. Now there's a reason why that is the case. But look, I'm going to say this on that note. I came across some. I want to say it was a short. It might have been a video. It might have been photographs, but it was showing like, oh, it's been 20. Oh no, it's a. Oh crap, dude. Golly, this stream, it can't go.
Hey,
much
Punk, you like my hoodie here? You like my hoodie?
So I. All right. This is gonna. I'm going to share this for you guys, and I'm just going to scroll it before we get into Daredevil. I'm going to scroll it because some of this is going to make you guys feel real old. Okay?
No. We don't need that nonsense.
I came across this feed. It's called Pop Culture. It's on Twitter. Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny from 1997.
Oof.
All right. Hang on. Janet Jackson, 1998. Okay. As we keep scrolling, I don't care about that. Britney Spears, 2003. Rihanna, 2006. Mariah Carey, 2001. RuPaul, don't care. Taylor Swift, 2014. That was over 10 years ago, folks. 26 years ago, Madonna released Nothing Really Matters. Don't even remember it.
Yeah.
26 years ago. 17 years ago, Mariah Carey released Touch My Body. Don't remember that either. But what really got me on this was like rolling down here and saying 14 years ago, Katy Perry released E.T. And I'm like, 14 years ago. And it just shows you how quickly, right? Like time goes by. Blondie, 1979.
Blondie.
Right?
Classic.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, Then versus Now. I mean, and so Michael Jackson, 1997, fan goes on stage. But anyway, so I just thought it was, I remember the Lady Marmalade with Christina Aguilera and like Lil' Kim. You remember that? Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is that I found myself going down that rabbit hole, and it's so funny because Punk of what he commented, and it was just like, yeah, it's 15 years ago, and then you start going down a how many years ago thing, and it's scary. Look,
26 years ago, 26
Savage,
years,
yeah,
Cruise-
26.
26 years ago, we entered the Matrix. I'm just,
Yeah, no, right. Look, Savage Crucible. How about Giraffe's favorite band, Savage Garden?
Oh, Savage Garden. Oh.
Whew. All right. So anyway, yes, it was a good halftime show for sure. But anyway,
Savage.
Yeah, it's amazing, y'all. I mean, you start adding it up and you start going, uh-oh. But yeah, pop culture. It's called Pop Culture on Twitter, and it was interesting to go down that rabbit hole of like years and years past and stuff like that. So, okay, all right, let's get into it.
There's Whitney Houston today for you, folks. No.
Wow, damn! Listen, the other night, I think it was Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Friday. I could be wrong. I think maybe man, there was some damn good Whitney jokes coming in. It was just a stream of them. All right. So I found this article from Inverse. Daredevil Born Again is trying to avoid a fatal flaw.
Okay, is this from the director of the new Daredevil?
It says Daredevil fans breathed a collective sigh of relief when the first trailer came out. It says the revival series has gone through growing pains in the past 2 years. Many wondered if the Vigilante's adventures would be portrayed with the same darkness as the original show, and feature the same violence. It says that the showrunner, who previously helmed Netflix's The Punisher, is working hard to keep the soul of the Defenders universe alive. He says that Daredevil Born Again will go way past anything Netflix ever did. The level of violence is way up there for a Marvel Disney show. I don't think there's anything
for a
else
Marvel
in
Disney show,
right.
not a Netflix Marvel
Now, this
show.
is Vincent D'Onofrio says, there's a world in which you might think that if that show kept running, we'd be in this place eventually or something like it. According to him, it goes even further in the darkness, the action, the nastiness, particularly where Fisk's relationship with Daredevil is concerned. So basically, it's kind of trying to figure out, are they going to be able to avoid that Disney-fied thing of really kind of being a kiddie show, being scared to go there, in which Netflix was able to do. And having gone back at this point now, we're going to get into it, and watching Netflix's Daredevil season 1, man, that show ain't scared. It's not scared.
No.
Right? It's violent.
Yep.
It shows violence against innocent people.
Yep.
And it is not afraid. It is probably the best, most well-written, well-scripted, well acted. It is fantastic acting.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Miss Page, yeah, I was in love with her in True Blood.
Okay. You had the O face. I got it.
Oh, yes, I was. And I just had forgotten, and it was like, oh, yeah. No, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so damn good. So without getting into spoilers, for those that haven't seen it, even though it's 10 years old, basically, almost.
Yeah.
Matthew, give me your thoughts on the Netflix Daredevil leading into March 4th, I believe, when Born Again comes out.
Yeah. I mean, the Netflix Daredevil show is the single best Marvel live action anything that they've done. The first Blade movie had a couple flaws with it, with the ending and stuff. But Blade was kind of that introduction and that people really engaged with, and it is amazing. And I will love those two Blade movies forever. The third one, man, whatever. But this Daredevil show is quite literally the best Marvel thing that they put on live action, period. And I love the Captain America trilogy. I love the first Avengers movie. I love Infinity War. Those were incredible movies and events that they put together. But this Daredevil series, the first 2 seasons are perfection in television. And Netflix knew it because that was the first time Netflix was like, holy crap, our servers have been overloaded. We're crashing. What the hell do we do? This was the first time that Netflix broke streaming, right? And they continue to break streaming with so many other events as they've gone through. But that Daredevil series is quite literally the first one that really hit home that Netflix is the place to go. Netflix is a powerhouse, and it's the new studio, it's the new system. That Daredevil show put Netflix on the freaking map.
I agree. I think it was probably what really drove the stake into the beginning of the studios, and they were so far ahead with streaming that at that point, and then obviously investing money into shows, making quality shows. It was still about content. I think now it's about, and I hope that's going to change, but I don't think it will. It became more about just overload of content. But after going back and rewatching, like there's so much that I had just like, and like, look, there's probably a few of those episodes I watched that had a buzz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe had a buzz here, maybe a little drunk, this, that, whatever. I don't know. And so there's things I forgot.
Yeah.
And then going back, watching it, paying attention to the dialogue. I put the captions on screen because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And
3-star, they are absolutely talking about the season 1 hallway scene, because the season 1 hallway scene changed filming fight scenes forever, and other movies have tried to replicate it and they can't do it because
so
that
good.
was one shot. There are no cuts in that scene.
You talking about where he rescues the boy?
And that camera moves through the hallway as he's fighting those gang members in season 1. It's the only hallway scene that matters because none of the others compare. Not even on that series, not even in Bullet Train or any of those zombie movies or anything else that you've seen that have tried to replicate it, have been able to replicate what they did in that scene because it was so perfectly done.
It was good. Yeah, it was fantastic.
And Punk, if you need to borrow it, I can mail it up to you if you want. I have it on disc, but no, I don't think it's actually streaming anywhere.
I actually don't either. And as a matter of fact, I don't think I've even seen it come up when I've tried to
it's not bad. It's
look up
I don't think it's
information.
bad. It's just different,
Yeah, I mean, listen, Blade was not my, I ain't gonna lie, Blade was, I mean, I liked the movies okay back in the day. Wesley Snipes
Oh,
was
come
fine.
on, man.
Yeah, nah. Look, come on.
Wesley
I'm sorry.
Snipes, he was in his prime. He jumps on screen. He's a vampire hunter killing vampires.
Hey, I'm good. I like Demolition Man, and I like a lot of the stuff he was in. I just, Blade 1 was fine for me. I thought it was all right, a little goofy. 2 was okay as well. But like Blade was not one of my guys. It wasn't one of my heroes. It wasn't one of my things that I followed.
Yeah, because you weren't into the comics, right? The Marvel Knights, man.
Not
the Marvel
really.
Knights were sick.
Not really. Right, not really. And so the TV show
if Tony
for
Spiggs
me,
was here, he'd tell you all about it too.
Well, look, I'm going to tell you, Punk, if you want to watch the Blade TV show, you can watch it on the CW website.
Okay.
You can watch it there. I think it's free with ads.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to have a subscription. I don't think you even have to sign in, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, we all know CW was famously sold after it made absolutely zero profit. But my point being is that if you go to CW.com, if you Google Blade TV show where to watch, it will show you that it's CW or Apple TV. You can buy it from Apple TV. Otherwise, you can actually watch it for free And even it says Spike TV presents at the beginning.
Spike
I'm
TV.
watching it right now. So go and watch it for free on CW.com. If you want to watch the Blade TV show, that's where you can find it.
See, I told you Tony would pop in if he was here. You can't diss the Marvel Knights without having Tony come in there and say,
Man, Blade was goofy. No, you can't tell me the villains ain't goofy as shit. Come on, Tony.
That movie was 90s
fire.
Oh my.
Man. Dude, I ain't going to argue. I'm not going to say it ain't 90s fire, but the shit is kind of goofy.
It's not that goofy. I mean,
it is
goofy.
No,
it's not. If you like The Crow, all this stuff was awesome. And the only thing that was bad was the freaking CGI that they used on the blood monster at the end. But
man, okay. Yeah, okay. Hello. Case in point. Thank you.
That's the only thing that was
fucking stupid.
It wasn't stupid.
It was stupid.
It wasn't stupid. It was just badly animated. Everything else, the Dorn character and all that stuff. Mike, whatever his name,
Look, I liked it for what it was, okay, but I thought it was fucking goofy. But hey, look, it is what it is. Yeah, Tony's been here the whole time. He has been. And hearing me talking about it, he's probably going to bring a 9-iron next time he sees me. I see him at Joe Fest. He's going to have a 9-iron in his hand. He's going to Daredevil me somehow. Look, yes, Blade is the reason. I don't think Blade is the reason we have all these goofy-ass gay Marvel movies, but there are multiple reasons why we have them all. Look, anyone that's of our age would remember in the 90s was not a great time for superhero movies. Let's not kid ourselves, folks, okay? Let's not look back fondly and try to look back with rose-colored glasses. There was some dumb shit, okay? Yes, exactly. There was some dumb shit in the 90s. They tried. I'll give them credit. They tried. Tony's Figs, you're damn right my face is goofy. But nonetheless, look. Let's bring it back around. All right, let's get serious for a minute. Damn it. Wait, let's get real serious. You know what? Actually,
boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
Okay, about my face. All right, about my face. Thanks, Tony. You son of a bitch. All right, so here's the deal. Daredevil's badass. And if you haven't seen it, go back, borrow a Netflix or borrow a Disney Plus subscription. It's on Disney Plus now. It's the only way you can watch it. It's not on Netflix anymore. It's fucking awesome. I'm sorry. It is fucking awesome, dude.
And that was a coup
so good.
For Marvel to get the Netflix show back from Netflix, because Netflix is like, this is the most popular thing on our network. We're not giving you it back.
No.
And so they fought hard to keep it, but then finally they're like, okay, fine. You want to buy it back? You can buy it back. And so they let them buy those properties back. But Netflix did not want to let go of it.
Yeah, I and I can understand that, and of course, with the characters and rights and all that stuff, I get it, and of course putting it on Disney, and you're obviously promoting coming up here, with the new series. I can only hope that as I get into season 2, because as I told Matthew, look, I got through season 1, and I think and I said it earlier, I got through about maybe a couple episodes of season 2, and then I can't remember exactly what happened or why. There was no particular reason. It wasn't like, oh, this show sucks. I didn't get in, and then I fell off of the train and then never got caught back up. It happens with a lot of shows we watch, and things that you really like, but you miss out, and you're like, oh shit, I've got to go back and see season 3, 4, whatever. And so in this case, I need to go back and watch season 2. But man, season 1, it is fantastic. It is so good. And 3-star draw says season 2 is an easy watch. Punisher, I'm all about the Punisher. War Chest says season 2 is badass. I cannot wait to dig into that. But I'll be honest with you, Matthew, this is probably for me. And look, I had the Child's Play graphic novel by Frank Miller. I showed it off the other day on Same Time Toys Hangout, I think. I had Child's Play, and that's Punisher, Daredevil. It's Frank Miller. I love it. I still have the original one I had as a kid, and I loved it. I was not a big Daredevil fan, but I know the story. I know some of the characters, just through osmosis. I will tell you, this is probably for me, other than Andor season 2, because I did like Andor a lot. It's the only Star Wars thing I think I've liked by Disney. I am excited to see where they go with this and if it lives up, hopefully, to what I've seen leading up.
Even though the director went out and made all those statements about trying to avoid the problems with the Netflix series that he had, that's the only concerning thing to me. Everything else, I'm like, okay, but it's made by Disney. It's on Disney Plus, and the guy who's making it said that he was trying to correct the problems that was with the Netflix series. And I'm like, what problems were with the Netflix series? Because that first season was about perfect. That second season is awesome. Third season, okay, there's some issues. That's fine, but
I haven't gotten there. I'll get there when I do. Maybe we'll talk about it. What I'd like to do is, as we lead up into March, and as you and I get into that show and we discuss it, and hopefully you guys will follow along with us week to week. I would like to get caught up before then, and then get into it. And I'd like to go through that series, because in all honesty, I am excited for it. I'd like to see it. I hope it's good. And
you know what? If they dropped it weekly, it'll do really well. If they drop it,
that's what they're doing. It's weekly. It's weekly. It's not all at once. It is a weekly series. Good. So we can stretch this out. If you guys are willing to jump on board and talk about it with us, I would love to talk about it with you.
Now, what are we going to do about Cobra Kai? Because the last part of the third part of the last season drops on Friday.
Yes. So I guess basically we can just dive into it whenever you want to. Whenever you're ready, we can dive into it. If you want to give people a chance to binge it.
Well, we may have to slowly roll that one out, because I'm only going to be able to watch a couple episodes at a time, because my daughter's going to watch it with us, and
that's cool.
And it's going to spread out. So, I don't think we're going to get to binge it this weekend. But who knows?
I mean, it's just, for me, it's one of those things like whatever you want to do with that, I am A-okay with it, and we can move along with it. But so here's the deal, folks. Like, look, it's been a slow period, stretching for news, trying to pull stories. As we start getting closer and closer, as we get into spring, as we start getting into summer, there's some shit going on. There's some stuff coming out, right? And things are really going to hit a stride. And so I hope, that we're able to kind of bring you some reviews and talk about some of these shows and talk about these movies that are coming out, especially this summer, and really dig into this stuff. And I hope you guys have a chance to watch them or go to the movies and see these things that you're interested in. And Thunderbolts and whatever else it is that you're interested in going to see, right? Superman. And get back to us. Let us know, and get into the conversation and talk about it. Because it's I want it to be fun again. I'm so tired. Look, if you think for 1 second that it's enjoyable to go over this culture war shit and to really just like rehash and talk, that's not enjoyable. What's enjoyable to me is talk about the fun stuff about the things we love, the stuff we like to talk about. We can debate about the powers, and we can debate about that's the shit I love. I don't love talking about the DEI. I don't love talking about the bullshit. And unfortunately, that's what we've been fed. So as we hopefully start to get away from that, we can get back to what we used to love to go to the comic shop about, which is debate about the powers and the characters and the meanings and the histories and all that shit. That's the shit I love talking about. War Chest Full of Toys says, I still think Daredevil is the best thing they've done. It's amazing. Matt's conversations with the priest are amazing. I agree.
Absolutely.
That was a clever way to replace Matt interior monologue. It was perfect. I'm with you.
Absolutely. And then Garaf, if you have watched any of the Disney Plus shows, you will have seen that Matt Murdock was completely cucked in the She-Hulk TV show, and Kingpin was completely cucked in the Hawkeye TV show. So both of them are nothing like they were in the Netflix show based on those two Disney Plus shows, because they just kind of destroyed those characters. And then they're like, oh, wait, we got to pull back on that. And so from what I've been hearing is that this TV show kind of tries to ignore that She-Hulk stuff that was going on, and kind of tries to ignore that Hawkeye stuff that was going on. I hope so, because Vincent D'Onofrio did not do himself any favors by reprising his role in that TV show, because he was made to look the fool. He was made to look the fool in Hawkeye.
Yeah,
and in Echo, even
and
worse
in Echo. Yes,
even
in
worse
Echo.
in
I was
Echo.
gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't say it, but you did. I was
Well,
like,
I mean,
no.
I mean, essentially, they freaking killed him in Hawkeye, and
Yes.
then oh no, he didn't die.
And you know what's
and then
shocking, Matthew?
They took away all his power in Echo.
Watching this again, season 1, and going back and then remembering what they did to him.
Yes.
It's so it's
So,
criminal.
and,
It's
you know,
fucking criminal, dude.
I've got a friend who just went back and binge watched
Wow.
the 3 Captain America movies, the first Avengers movie, and then the Falcon Winter Soldier TV show, and re-engaged his rage against the Falcon and Winter Soldier show,
Yeah.
and was just like, this show just defies everything that every movie has ever set up in this entire universe.
Absolutely.
Spits in the face of the fans, destroys the characters, and doesn't make logical sense in the universe at all. Just to throw forth some politics, and universally in that universe, it doesn't make sense. And so it just, if you go back and watch things in order, your rage will start growing, especially if you do back to back to back, because as they go through, it gets more and more infuriating to see what they did with stuff.
Yes. There are many things in that show. There are many things that are extremely disingenuous, and they nothing that was set up, basically, except for one thing, I guess, that was set up. But overall, it completely eschews everything that came before. Character building, it just throws it out the window for whatever reason.
So Shane, I have to ask you, how well is the tribe represented in that? But you didn't watch it. But it's like, really, are they doing justice by saying that?
Mendoza, I also think that, if it was a buddy cop mystery thing, it could have been really
could have been so good, because those two actors have good chemistry, and I think they would do well together if they had played it that way. If they had done something special with it that way, it could have been really fun, interesting, entertaining, but they didn't. They decided to be stupid with it.
Yep. So look, let's wrap things up, because we're over time. But Matthew's had a long day. Even I have, actually, and still under the weather. But I want to wrap things up, and I just want to I guess just get into something. We're not gonna talk about names. We're not gonna get into situations. We're not going to talk about videos we've watched or this and that, rap videos and all that kind of shit. But I wanted to get into the duality of man a little bit. I wanted to ask you this hypothetical or philosophical question about no matter what sphere, no matter what friendships, no matter whatever. I guess, and even within Daredevil, because there's a lot within that you can take away from that, right? Fighting a fight, but when is too far? When is too far?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, far enough, and when do you not go past the point of no return? Right. And so we've all known a lot about what's been going on the last week or two or couple weeks or whatever. And And yes, I know a lot of these viewers here are in the toy sphere. I'm not immune to that. I understand that. I've said my piece on it on a couple streams, but I really want to talk about the duality of man and how I guess that the things we put out there in the world as opposed to the things, that we know to be true. And I wanted to ask you about this, Matthew, because you don't know this. I haven't asked you this question. We haven't talked about it. But I want to ask you this about because how do you feel people that you think and people that put things out in the world and put things out there for public consumption as opposed to maybe privately how they may be how do you feel about that? And are you a person that takes things at just face value, or are you able to maybe look beyond that and say, hey, maybe something else is going on. Maybe there's something I don't know about. Or are you a person that just says, hey, what you give me is what I get, and I'm going to go with that?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of all of it, right? I mean, my job requires me to do things, to interact with people a certain way, and no matter how I get a response back, but when I get erroneous responses, I have to stack that up against evidence, and past experience and social norms,
Okay.
and things of that nature. So I take people at their word, whether they're being public or private. I take people at their word. If they say something, then I'm going to hold it to them. And if they present publicly one way and privately another way, I generally don't associate with those people, because I don't want to get caught in something that is unexpected, that is out of the ordinary, that is off kilter, which is out of the blue from somewhere else. I'm an honest and open and transparent person. I make no bones about stuff. If somebody asks me a direct question, I will give them a direct answer, or I will not answer. I will deflect the conversation. And I have to do that quite a bit sometimes, because at the same time, there are points in time that I don't want people to know how I feel about certain things, because I don't want that to affect the relationship that we're developing or that we have. But at the same time, it's because it's out of love, it's out of compassion, it's out of a reason that, I'm trying to help a person, or I like this person, or whatever, that sometimes I'm hesitant to give an opinion about some things. But there's always a point which is too far, and I have fired patients. I have told patients they're not allowed back on my premises, and we're not allowed back in my clinic. I filed injunctions against them. I've contacted other medical professionals and told them about the behaviors of certain people, and say if they're not on medication, they shouldn't be allowed back in your office, but they're never allowed back in mine.
I guess also what I'm asking, I guess, as well, is that, look, sometimes we have opinions. You and I, we talk about this stuff. We go off about some of the pop culture stuff. We talk about some of the movies, maybe stuff we've seen. It's out there, right, for public consumption.
Yep.
And I think when that's the case, giving your opinion on something that is out there, that is widely known, that anyone and everyone is commenting on, I think it's fair game. I think it's fair game. I think it's not personal. I think if I talk about a movie star who makes statements on the red carpet, I think if it's a movie and a director that comes out and says something about their film or whatever that doesn't jibe right, I'm going to make comments on that. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
But what I do not do, and I think you're the same as myself, is you have that barrier. It's not personal You're not going to dig in and find something personal. You're not going to try to advise someone personally or tell them what they should do, how they should do it, right? But ultimately, let's see. If you're ready, I'm going to add you. There you go. All right.
That's
Let's
weird.
see.
What is that double? What's going on?
It is, but I'm going to try to remove. Let me remove that guy. There
I
we
have
go.
no idea what just happened there.
It's all good. Doesn't matter. But my point is that, the bottom line is that, when things are for public consumption, okay? And the reason why I brought it up is the duality is because I think we all have been guilty. We're all guilty, okay? At times of portraying ourselves in certain situations as one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then in another, maybe, or to ourselves, we know we're not that. Maybe we were younger. Maybe you still do it now. We've all been guilty of that. I think we all have. Now people say, I'm 100% real all the time. No, that's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie. We know that's a lie. But my point is when it comes to public things, when things are put out publicly, you must be prepared. And that if you decide to pick a bone with someone, those things may be used against you.
Yep.
And so no matter what persona you may put out there, if it's patients that you've dealt with that come in and you see past the lies, you see through the bullshit,
yeah,
and you have to tell it, hey, I can't treat you anymore. Well, why not? I've been doing what you told me. Well, you can obviously see it. You can look at them. You can go through their chart. You can tell what they've been doing. Right. Or whatever it is, financially. I don't care. But so I guess my point is that, look, folks, we've all been burned before. We've all been burned. We've been burned by girls. We've been burned by friends.
Yep.
And there are times in life when people trick the fuck out of you.
Yep.
And that's a damn shame.
Yep.
It's a damn shame. And I hate that, because I think ultimately at the end of the day, most everybody I've met on this platform are pretty good people. And I say it all the time. I don't know you, right? I know you, but I don't know you.
Yep.
And so just as a comment about the recent shit, we all watched the video the other night. A lot of us were in the chat, the other night. The saying goodbye to the haters or whatever the fuck that was the other night, right? The trolls, I guess, video. There was a lot of people that are in this chat that were in that chat. I commented with a lot of them. But my point being is that we also conversely have to understand that no matter how shitty things may be and how you feel about a situation, there are always other sides to that situation. And I'm not trying to garner any sympathy. I'm not trying to garner any whatever. But what I am trying to say is at the very least, it's easy to pile on and it's easy to jump in. We all did it with Viper Island. We all, the pitchforks, torches, pitchforks, everybody, right? Pitches, going, wow.
Yeah.
I've gotten caught up in it myself. However, the one thing I will say, and I'll say it to everybody on this platform, I want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to find their voice. I want everyone to find what it is they enjoy and what they love doing. Will I call some bullshit out? Yeah, I'll call some bullshit out. But I want everyone to be successful. And what they do good, what they do well, I want them to do that well. And I want people to like them for what they do that well.
Yeah.
Right? And so as much as this whole situation has really sucked and people have been, either blindsided or betrayed, the bottom line is at the end of the day, like it's all a fucking journey. And really I regardless of where you leave it, where I leave it, where anybody else in this chat leaves it, all I want to say is that I want everyone to find where their lane is and what they enjoy doing. And if they're good at it, be good at it that.
Yeah.
Don't try to be good at something you're not good at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does, but there's also this thing called mental illness, and it is
Yes.
out there, and it's
You are
real,
correct.
and people need to seek treatment and understand that sometimes your perception of things is so far off of what's really happening
Right.
that you need to check. So, everybody needs to check in with somebody, have a discussion.
That's right. That's right.
Have a real discussion with somebody and check in and see if you need some additional help, because I believe that there are people out there that suffer from quite a bit of mental illness. And in the last 5 years, it's dramatically been increasing for sure. So, just, love your friends, love your neighbors, but, also don't stand for nonsense. Let them know that they might need some help.
Don't stand for nonsense. Don't stand for nothing. Okay? Like, if you have values,
yep,
uphold them.
Yep.
Stick to them. Don't waver on that shit. You know what I mean? And at the same time, it's like, hey, sometimes you just got to recognize sometimes motherfuckers they just crazy. And you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing about it. You can
That's
try. You can words of encouragement. You can whatever it is.
And you know what?
Sometimes people
you
just
may have
fucking
thought
crazy.
you had a different relationship with that person.
That's correct.
And
Yes.
you had good times with them or whatever, and everything was good and copacetic and all that stuff. And then it can flip on you. And all of a sudden you start seeing this other side of them, and it's not what you expected. It's not what you want to be involved with. And you just got to walk away. You can tell them your piece, say what you got to say, and then say, look, I cannot be a part of this. If you want to get your stuff together, that's fine. We can come back and talk later, but I can't be here unless you get help, or, let me help you find something, or whatever it has to be.
Yeah. I mean, either way, when it comes down to it, look, you can't waver on what you believe in. And,
Yep.
and I say this all the time. I say it all the time. I'll say it here. Play detective. It doesn't take a genius. Play detective.
Yeah.
Usually, right? Usually, the things you think probably are correct are probably correct. All you got to do is just look at the facts.
Yeah,
Right?
it's one of the things
Play
that I would say
detective.
in all
You'll
my
get your
self-defense
answer.
classes is, if the situation doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, it probably isn't
Probably
right.
isn't. That's right.
And you got to extract yourself from that situation by any means possible before it escalates. And if it does escalate, you got to be ready to go. You got to be full bare arms, ready to go. So the situation arise, but also if you see it coming, don't be there.
Yeah, man.
Best way to not get hit, no be there.
The thing of it is, like, is that I've been a cynical person for a really long time. I've been a cynical person for most of my life. I'm still a very cynical person. All right. Not gonna lie. I'm also sarcastic as shit, but I also do enjoy seeing people succeed. I do enjoy seeing people be better than me, being their best selves, right?
Yeah.
Like shit that I look to and go, fuck, man, I'd love to do that. Like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be as good as that or exceed that. Like I'm not gonna lie, like that. Those are real feelings. I have those feelings. That the creators I watch, and I'm like, damn, man, this motherfucker's been working hard. I've been watching this some bitch for 7 years, 7 years, and now they're reaping the benefits of the fruits of their labor. And I'm like, man, I just started this journey like not even a year ago. And I'm like, why? Shit ain't happening. And it's like, no, it don't happen like that.
Yeah.
But also some people try to get the quick hit. They try to get the quick bump. They try to get the quick, and they go for the controversy. And they go for the, and we've seen it. We've watched it. We all know who we're talking about. We all know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have to say it. We all know what's going on.
Yeah.
That quick hit, that quick
cheap
bump,
bumps
trying
never-
cheap views.
Yeah, cheap bumps never last.
That shit don't work, dude. It
Yeah.
don't work. It's called building, lasting.
Yeah.
Years.
The only way it does work is if you just play the heel 24/7 and that's your shtick. You play the heel and everybody knows you're playing the heel, and you're gonna be the heel and you're gonna piss everybody off, and that's what everybody's there for. They're those drama hounds, they're gonna seek you out, and if that's the way you want to do it, then that's the way you're gonna do it. But if there's if that's not what your intent is, well then you got to self-reflect a little bit.
Yeah, it's been an interesting few weeks. It's been some interesting videos. I ain't gonna lie, some of this shit's entertaining. I buy into the feed, you know what I'm saying? I buy into the hype sometimes. I've sent a super chat here or there. I've commented here or there. It is what it is. I'm free to do that.
Hey, yeah, I mean, drama can be fun and entertaining for a little bit, but it gets tiresome.
But eventually, you're correct. It does get tiring, and that's why I guess bringing it up and talking about like us and you and I and we don't get into it a lot on this stream, but it has come up and getting into the pop culture wars and a lot of that stuff. That stuff is that personally, I would love to be in the middle of like 2014, 2015 Marvel. I would love to spend all of our time there because that was a lot of good shit going on.
Yep.
And not this Phase Bore and all this Disney Plus shit and Star Wars being on the shit stick and just, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Does it make content for people that have created channels that have gotten very successful in the stuff that you and I follow? 100%. People have made a lot of money and gotten a lot of airtime.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I want to talk about the good shit.
Yep.
And so considering this whole situation that's been going on in the toy sphere and these attacks and these videos and these raps and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it's entertaining and it's kind of hype one way and then this way is like, oh, you ain't shit. But in reality, man, like I think we all agree, we all really just want to really talk about the fun stuff. And this shit is it's unsatisfying. It's fast food.
Yeah.
It's not nourishing, right?
Yeah.
It's not. And so I hope it all just kind of goes away. That's going to be up to somebody. I hope it all kind of just goes away. And we get back to talking about the things we all love to talk about instead of this bullshit that's been festering for a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, but also sometimes people damage their relationship so much that they got to move on to something else. I mean,
that's true.
I don't know. I don't know if it's at that point or not, but it kind of seems like it might be.
Yep. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But like I said, I just, private persona, public persona, private messages and phone calls, then what you put out there. Right. It's all about, it's like, look, man, just put your head down, do the work.
Yeah.
The rest will take care of itself. You know what I mean? And so, so that's it. We don't have to get into specifics and all that. I didn't want to. You and I and everybody here knows what's going on, but I'd just rather everybody just, for the greater good, just dump that shit. Go forward and do what you do best. Review toys, talk about them, news, shit coming out. And for me and you, we've got some exciting shit coming up this summer. We got a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah.
Spring, summer, we got a lot to talk about. And I hope a lot of it's good. And I hope we're moving in that direction because it's going to be fun. And I hope you guys hang around with us because I have a feeling that's probably what you'd rather hear about and what you'd rather discuss than us talking about how bad everything is for the last year or more. Right?
Hey, you know what? We had fun talking about House of the Dragon. We've had some good times.
It's true. We have
about Nosferatu and Wild Robot, and we've had some good stuff this past year. So
yeah, man.
So let's look forward to the good stuff this year that we can talk
Absolutely.
about. That's what I want to focus on. And I don't want to have to go see a movie that I know is going to be bad, but sometimes I will just so you guys can know about it. But
that's right. Yeah, 100%. And yes, and look, Clint, yes. Cobra Kai, I know that where was it in here too? I saw maybe I can find it, maybe not. But regardless, yeah, no, there's been some fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's been some bad shit, but hopefully moving forward we're gonna get more fun stuff and more good stuff than what we've had recently, and hopefully that'll keep going. You know what I mean?
Three
So
star.
we'll see.
I want to. I almost want to put the Acolyte in so bad that it was fun to talk about how bad it was. But I don't know. It was it was so bad.
It is fun to talk about how bad it was. And for those of you that watched it, you know how bad it was. That was embarrassing bad. And
I
it
still
gave us
haven't
some
gotten
great
past episode
memes,
4.
great videos, great memes, some really good stuff. But yeah, no, but nonetheless, yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up at the end just to kind of put a bow on it. We're not gonna bring it up again. Not gonna talk about it again. That's it. It's over. And hopefully, everybody moves on and we just get on doing what we like to do, right? That's all I say. I just want everybody to move on.
Do it.
So, holy moly, M. Bison, here, chill out, man. You just hurt me. Oh, my jaw. That shit hurt, man. Golly. Matthew, you're just a
bitch.
Anyway, all right. So look, that's enough. I could keep going. I'll be here all night long, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for the evening blend. Hopefully we entertained you a little bit, brought up some stuff, talked about some fun stuff. I love you guys, man. And yes, Frank Dumanu, you may be right. My expectations were way too high. I do have the buttons down, friends. I got it down pat now. But anyway, no, I love you guys, man. The chat, you guys make it always worthwhile. It is always appreciated. Y'all show up every week. Hopefully as we grow this thing and get some people in, and we'll see. I would absolutely love it, but I love you guys and I love interacting with you every week. Matthew, do you have anything coming up here on your Instagram channel or anything you want to recognize, anything like that before we get out of here, buddy?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm always got stuff on my Instagram going on. Punk with Toys is talking to Gaines or GI Bro on Thursday. On Saturday, he's got his Ramblings is going to go on. Then he's going to skip that Monday. We've got our show on Tuesday. On Thursday, on the 20th, I'm going to be on Toy Pix's TOYPIXX show on about 6 p.m. Central, so 7 p.m. Eastern.
Sweet.
He's a photographer, professional photographer who's done a lot of toy photography. He does amazing toy photography, does tutorials, and he puts out free backgrounds and Photoshop files for people to use in their toy photography. So he talks about toys. So we're gonna just chat and BS and watch the comments that come in. And I know Brick Something's there, and a bunch of other people that I recognize are there. But TOYPIXX on the 20th, I'll be on with him. And so, I'm just kind of making the rounds. Some people are asking me to come on, so I'm like, okay, why not? But that's what my schedule is for the next little bit.
Sweet. Matthew's getting boosted. Some people might say,
Oh, good for you.
but hey, listen, it happens, folks. It happens. Some of us are in demand, okay? All right. Same time, Toy says drop the link. I don't know if you have it that quickly. Maybe you do. If you can, drop the link in the chat, Matthew. I think you have that authority. If I remember correctly, I'll give you plenty of time to do that. While I play, I don't know what do I want to play? Can I play something that's funny? Can I do anything? I don't know. Stupid. Oh Lord, do I have one more in me? Maybe I do. No, that's it. It's over. No more videos. All right. So
Yeah,
anyway,
he also has an Instagram.
There we go.
Toy Pics, Instagram, and he posts stuff quite a bit on there. Now it's more channel based, but before it was just photo photography, and he had some great stuff of Wolverine with a raptor, and he loves his GI Joes. He's loving the Jada Street Fighters. He's a good photographer, really good photographer. And we're checking out some of his tutorials and stuff like that. So,
well, love it, man. Link is in the chat for y'all. Click on it, save it, put a reminder, whatever. Go ahead and like it. Who cares? Right? Like, just do whatever, but check that out. That'll be cool, man. I'll check it out myself. So yeah, for me, Friday night, at 9:30, another Unfiltered. I got a few stories saved. It's, free flowing and all that good stuff. So I'll be there, once again, and, try to entertain again, man. I love you guys, man. Chat, you're awesome. Matthew, obviously you're awesome. It's fun every week for to do this with you. And as we continue this journey, hope it gets better. Thanks, y'all, man. You guys are awesome. This has been another evening blend on a Tuesday night in February. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.